I'll tell you one thing, and this is a guarantee. I'm trying something different tonight. First off, thank y'all for coming back to King Shit Talk. If you could see what's on my table right now, I have two, count them two, um, rum and ginger ale drinks because I just spent literally, and this is no exaggeration, and some of y'all gonna laugh, but I just spent about 17 minutes trying to figure out how to go live on Facebook because I'm deciding to mix it up a little bit. I'm gonna go live tonight on Facebook as well as my YouTube channel as well as the Wisdom app because some people still haven't caught on to the great stuff that we talk about and the stuff that we go over. So I figure more eyes can, get a hold to it from Facebook along with the other things. But I tell you this, I just spent 17 freaking minutes. 17 minutes. Oh, that's good. 17 minutes trying to figure out how to go live. I haven't went live on Facebook in, gosh, it's got to be at least 5 years, if not more. But hope everybody's having a great day. I had a very good day today. I had to do some traveling to go take care of some business this morning. Spent the rest of the day driving back, preparing for tonight's show. And I'm have I know you guys remember Kevin Evans. He's gonna be a guest tonight. Very intelligent, intellectual, straightforward brother. Um, Last week's show, for those that missed it, was about what women want. That was actually the title. What do women want? And I had love from Vulnerably Naked. She came on and she answered a lot of my questions, and so did a lot of other people. But I think we got a lot of insight on what women actually want because we asked women, women responded. Um, we listened, I hope. And tonight, we're going to be talking about what men want. Because, like I said last week, a lot of times men feel like they know what women want. But if that were the case, we wouldn't be getting so much stuff wrong when it comes to the opposite sex. So, tonight, myself, Kevin, and any other man that decides to come up and speak will be discussing what men want. And y'all know anyone that's been coming every week and checking out the show, you already know how it goes. Once I bring Kevin up, he'll be up for no less than an hour. After that hour, he can come back up, or other people can decide to come up and speak about what they feel. And it doesn't have to only be men, even though it's entitled What Do Men Want? Ladies, you can come up and speak as well. And also, before I bring him up, let me also say that probably next week, I'm hoping next week's guest will go live with me on YouTube and we'll both be there. So I'm trying to get everybody to understand that this is a jewel that people are getting now with me having them on so many platforms because in a couple of weeks, if not next week, it'll be strictly YouTube and Wisdom app or strictly YouTube. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But while I'm getting my Thursday cigar ready, I'm gonna ask Kevin to come on up so we can kind of, catch up and then we'll get into tonight's show. And he'll be up in a second, y'all. And for those that are watching on Facebook, I appreciate you. Hopefully, you can tap over and watch on YouTube too. Get multiple devices. Watch on all of them. What's going on, brother man?
Yo, what's going on, man? How you been?
Man, I've been pretty good. This past week has been good. I can't complain at all. Um, Today has been a great day thus far. I don't know if you were listening, but I said that I might go on Facebook live today. But when I tell you, I felt like a 116-year-old man because the last time I went live was like five, or it may have been more years than that, 5 or 6 years ago. But it took me forever, 17 minutes to be exact, to find the live button to go live. And I was starting to panic because every moment that I was looking for it, I was looking at the clock and it was creeping up on 8 o'clock. And I told somebody today, I was like, I might be early, but I'll never be late for a show. But I came darn close to being late. But how your day been going today?
Pretty good, man. Good productive day at work. I had a couple successful little small meetings. So I had a great day at work, man. Everything's been good. It's raining down here in Florida, pretty bad. I've been storming all day, but other than that, man, everything's good. How about your day?
Oh yeah, it's been great, man. Y'all probably getting the rain that left here the other day because it rained for like 2 days straight in North Carolina.
Right. Yeah, it came on down south. It's here in Florida now.
You know what I did while I was doggone fooling around with this freaking um, Facebook joint? Give me about no more than 8 seconds. I left my freaking questions for you in the other room.
All right.
Okay, I'm back.
You must not have had a drink yet, man.
Bruh, I have two. I fixed two of them. When I was fooling around with that doggone trying to find how to go live on Facebook, I made two. I already had them ready because I knew the first one was gonna go down quick.
You did the Douce lemonade?
Now I ain't do the Douce today. I got the bamboo rum, and I'm mixing it with a little bit of Seagram's ginger ale.
Oh, okay.
It's
I need
good
to go
though.
get some wine tonight, man. I
Oh,
ain't
did
drinking
you?
in a while, though. Trying to take it a little light. I ain't trying to go too tough.
Yeah, I normally do the wine and ice, but I've been laying off the wine for a couple of weeks, but I think I might go back to that Douce next week.
Right. I'm about to match your energy, man. I'm about to see
Man,
how
I'm trying to tell
that
you.
and win this lemonade too.
Yeah, that doggone Douce and that darn strawberry lemonade get me there.
Right.
But
Okay, try.
let's hop right in this, man, because like I was reminding them, those that didn't catch the show last week, the last week's show was about what women want. A lot of times we as men get it misconstrued with what women actually want, and sometimes even when we ask women what they want for whatever reason, we won't get a direct answer. But I think we got a lot of good feedback last week, and this week we're going to be talking about what men want. That way, after tonight's show, hopefully, it'll take a lot of the guesswork out of it for women when it comes to what we want, because there's a normally what I have found to be true is that when people ask the question, what do men want? It's typically always the same answer when it's coming from people other than men.
Right.
Like women tend to always say it's always something sexual
Right.
when it's, when they talking about what we want. So that tells me that just like men don't always know what women want, a lot of women may think that they know what we want, but it's not so either.
Right. I agree.
And we'll dig
Agree with
on,
you on that.
yeah, we're gonna dig a little deeper than just the what do men want though. We're gonna scratch the surface and kind of open up to a lot of stuff that maybe we don't normally open up to. And hopefully we'll do what we always try to do, and that's bridge the gap between the sexes. So the first question I have for you in your own words, you know, to the best of your ability, what is the best part about being a man? Hey, Cuzzo. And my bad, okay, let me go ahead and let you know too. In between these questions, though, the way Facebook Live is, it's about like YouTube. So when people are commenting and stuff like that, I'll try to answer them if I can, but I apologize if you hear me, you know, answering something that's on one of them and it kind of, you know, throws you off a little bit. But I'm not interrupting you, so you can just keep talking.
Right. No doubt, no doubt. I would say for me, I would say I like being held accountable. I mean, I like being. I'm a family man. I like being a father. I like being a husband. I like being responsible for my family. I really do. Whatever it takes to make sure that we're straight. Like I enjoy being that. Sometimes it can become a burden for some people. I mean, even myself included. Or sometimes it can get a little tough. But at the end of the day, once you get things accomplished and you make sure that the people around you are straight and your family is good, it's a real fulfilling feeling, you know. So I really enjoy that part about being a man. I mean, some women have to step up and do that as well. But I think we're kind of expected to make sure that everybody's good and everybody's straight, and I can kind of enjoy that part about being a man.
I have to agree with you on that because I think one of the, if not best parts about being a man is to be depended on, and you know that you can, you know, feel that, like to feel needed and know that you can do whatever is asked of you to do to the best of your ability. That I guess that leader energy and that quote unquote idolized energy without even asking for it, like how your son looks at you and comes to you for things and asks for advice and trust that you're going to tell him the right thing. How your daughter, you know, can look at you and feel protected when something's going on. That kind of stuff. I think that's the best parts of being a man, is having, you know, if you're married, your spouse or your children feel protected and taken care of by you.
Right, no doubt.
Now, based on your experience, is a woman to you more desirable when she's quote unquote beneath you or less than, or when she brings equal or more things to the table that people always talk about? Because, you know, people are always talking about what you bring to the table.
Right. Yeah, that's an easy one to be, man. Seems like the perfect response would be that, you know, you want a woman that brings stuff to the table, or, you know, equal to or more than. But that's no doubt the answer for me. I hear people say it sometimes, but they don't show it. You know, some men may need that feeling of, you're beneath me, I'm taking care of you, and they may need that feeling. But I feel like what I naturally come with makes me, you know, secure as a man. You know, I feel like I'm a natural leader. I feel like any situation you put me in, I can come out of it for me and my family. I provide, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So I would want my woman to bring equal or more to the table. I feel like if I'm making $80K a year and my woman's making $120K a year, we're making $200K a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't need to. Now, granted, if you're making a buku load of money, or you got some opportunity that you got going, I mean, we have those opportunities going, or maybe I can get myself up to your level, et cetera, et cetera. But no, I don't need that security of, oh, I'm making more money, I'm doing more. If my woman is a grinder, a husband, she bringing more than me to the table or equal, I'm good with that. Like that doesn't make me feel insecure that I need to be making more money than my woman. And like I said, I hear men say that, oh, you're not, but they really don't mean that, because, you know, they show differently. So I'm definitely more, you know, intrigued by a woman that can bring equal or more to the table.
Yeah, I've heard men say the same thing. Like they want to make more than their woman. They don't want their woman making too much. All kinds of stuff. They don't want their woman questioning them about anything. Don't want them, saying too much. And I'm like, I personally would not be comfortable in a situation like that. I'm attracted to the grind, the hustle, the work ethic. Now, that's not to say that I would want a woman that's working all the freaking time, because I would hope I would hope that if you have that grind and that mindset and things like that, then you can figure out ways also to utilize your time to where you don't have to be away from the household, away from the family, and your money can still work for you.
Right. Now, don't get me wrong. There's things, because there's things that I would want my woman to come with that may very well take her away from some of those grinding opportunities and making money. I really feel like your woman is kind of in charge of your household. The way your house is ran, things of that nature, et cetera, et cetera. I use a lot of analogies, and I look at it like chess. Your woman is like the queen. She does it all. She moves risk. She can do what everybody does on the table. She's kind of like the workhorse when it comes to your household. She can only move one spot.
That's right.
But when that king is captured, game over.
Game over.
He's the most important piece, but she's the workhorse. She gets a lot of things done. Like, for example, I don't really worry about how bills are paid and things of that nature. I fund it. It comes when I check my bank statement. It comes from it. But my woman used to take care of a lot of those things. So she may be taken away from the grind, because she's making sure my son is straight and things of that nature. But if she has something to where she's getting it, that doesn't make me insecure at all. I'm more so proud of her than wishing that she was beneath me.
Yeah, because what I've seen, and it's not all men, but from what I've seen, I've noticed that a lot of times men feel like they have to be in such control over everything. But truth be told, not that we can't do it, but women are great organizers. Women are great at thinking logically. Even though people always say, the woman is an emotional creature, a lot of those emotions are focused on the right kind of things. But I think a lot of times as men, sometimes our egos get in the way. Sometimes we feel like, oh, you can't tell me nothing because I'm the man. But a lot of the greatest positions that a man will ever be in is when he's taking the time to listen to and understand a woman.
Right.
Now what?
And that's pride, like you said. A lot of men have fallen because you feel like, and you may make the ultimate last decision, or everything may need to come through you before the final decision is made. But you need somebody on your side that's going to be able to help you think logically and rationally, and that's what a woman is there for, in my opinion. Help me mentally and physically.
Yeah, sometimes we can go off. A lot of times our temperament and things like that cause us not to see too clearly.
Right.
But yep. Now, what would you say is the biggest misconception when it comes to what women think that we need?
I think a lot of women would say, and I've had this conversation quite recently actually, that just men just want sex or whatever, like they just gotta have sex. So I feel like sometimes women could be, more sexual than us. They may want it more than we do.
Yeah.
But I would say that's a misconception. They just think that they want a woman to shut up. I actually enjoy listening to women, or I actually enjoy listening to my wife. But it's not just that we want sex, that's not all it is. I think that would be the biggest misconception.
And I think too, I totally agree with you, but I also feel like a lot of times that misconception is there because of how many men lead with that. How many men only talk about that. So it's almost like we hate for that misconception to be there, but we kind of created it. We kind of laid the groundwork for it.
Yep. I guess when you get to a different and deeper level, it's like that misconception stays. But I feel like for men, just to be quite honest, I can meet you today, not even know your name, but I can want something, and that's what I want.
Yeah.
I personally think women are a little different, but just like you say, when we lead with that, they kind of think, oh, that's all they want. But if I'm really trying to pursue something further with you, that's really not all I want, you know. And to each his own, but I think as a whole, that's really not all men want when they're going deeper than just the surface, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the key to it. What you said with the because it's only natural when a man is attracted to you that he's going to think about that. But
Right.
the key is when a man goes into it or meets you and he wants more than just to lay you down, then that's when that's not the only thing that he's wanting. Yeah, it's a thought, but he's thinking about so much more ahead of that when he really genuinely wants to get to know you.
Right. Now, if you don't, he may very well just only want sex.
Yeah,
You may
it
feel
happens.
Like, oh, that's all they want.
It
That's
happens.
all he wants with you. You know what I'm saying?
And just like last week, when some of the ladies said that's all they want. Sometimes it's mutual. That is all either one of them want.
I think we get deemed a little less forewarned because that's kind of the picture that gets painted of us, and women are viewed as though they shouldn't want it like that. So
Yep.
I think that's why it comes out that way.
Because of those double standards, and we talked about that before too. Those double standards are the reason for a lot of that, because you can hear a woman say straight up that she wants sex, right? Instantly, when she says that, there are people that will label her loose, there are people that will label her a hoe, and everything else under the sun. But when a man says he wants sex, it's looked at like, oh, okay, well, that's that. If you didn't, I'd feel like something was wrong with you.
Correct. It's normal for us. It's normal.
Yeah.
And, we'll get praised for it, really.
Oh yeah, definitely. My man, I see my man on Facebook. What's going on, D? Got Miss Penn in there, Cuzzo in there. Thank you, Christy. Yeah, in that now, and this kind of goes with what we were just talking about. In the grand scheme of things, does a easy woman hold your attention, or a woman with boundaries? And think about even when you were, let's say, your early 20s until now. For the most part, do you feel like a woman that was straightforward and easy to the point held your attention more, or that woman that had those boundaries, or had that, was it Steve Harvey that had that 90-day rule thing? So yeah, the women that kind of went toward that, or the ones that were straightforward to get done what they wanted to get done?
No, man, that's the easy answer for me. I think psychologically, man, even if you go back to, with kids, if you get everything you want for you, if things come easy to you, it's less of a value. Now, I think that's kind of in general. It may not be for everybody, but nobody ever goes thinking like, man, I wonder what this, I wonder what that. When she just got all the cards on the table, she's easy. She leaves you no guesswork. It's easy. That's very, and I may very well make you feel a certain way because I may want something. But when you keep that from me or have those boundaries, it's just me. I love a woman who can respect herself and say, this is not what I'm doing, period, bottom line. And that makes me want you even more. That makes me feel like that toy that I couldn't get or that I had to work hard for, you appreciate it more, you won't want it more. But if you just put your cards all on the table and give it to me, I may make you think that's the right decision. Yeah. But trust me, for me, it ain't. Because when I get that, it's like, I got it. What else is there for me to, you know what I'm saying? Then I think a lot of women wonder, like, I did this, I was looking good, I did that, regardless of how good you look or how bad I want it. And I'm going to tell you everything on the sun to get it. Yeah. Once I get it, your value goes there. What is there else for me to earn? You know what I'm saying? So that's just me. I definitely feel like a woman who holds those standards, makes me wait a little bit, says, hey, I'm not doing this on the first day or whatever. I want it even more, I'm telling you.
Well, brother, man, let me tell you something. Transparent moment of the night. That sounds wonderful. That sounds great. But I'm that way now to an extent, but when I was in my let me call it what it is. When I was in my late teens, 20s, 30s, late 30s, I wanted I ain't gonna say late 30s, but definitely by my mid 30s, I was still more intrigued with the woman that was straightforward. Hey, I like you, you like me. Let's go ahead and skip all those pleasantries and doggone get it up. That's what held my attention, because the way my situations were set up in my life, I've been through so much as far as relationships go, with thinking things were one way and they turn out to be another, just all kinds of stuff. So anytime I heard a woman saying, no, I'm not interested in that, or I don't even know you like that, and da 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 da, it always made me feel like um they weren't being truthful. It made me feel like, okay, you just mean that you're not trying to do that with me, but that's just not, who you are. That's just something you saying for the time being. So now it's different because my rapport is a little different, when you talk to women and stuff like that. But then, yeah, I didn't. That was a quick turn off for me to hear stuff like that, because you know how a lot of times women talk to women, right? There have been situations where men talk as well. So especially if it was coming from a woman that somebody that she don't know that is telling you things and showing you things and stuff like that. Yeah, there was a time I didn't have no room or anything for that boundaries type stuff. And that's not to say, let me let me clarify. That's not to say that I would try to talk somebody out of what their boundaries were. I never did that. Whatever your boundaries are, that's your boundaries, but I would just keep it moving.
Right. Nah, man, it's the exact opposite of me, man. If I think back to my college days, I can get it right away. I'm not saying I didn't entertain somebody that was straightforward, because I did. I entertained several that was straightforward. But I just like to chase, man. I'm strategic. I strategize. Now, I'm not saying that I'm about to let you tell me, boy, leave me alone, get out my face.
Yeah.
I'm not interested, and then I'm going to get her interested. That's not the case. But say I go on a date with a woman or whatever, and that night I'm in college, you know what I'm saying? I'm a young man, like, I want it now.
I feel you.
And she don't give it to me. Oh man, I'm going back to the drawing board. Like,
yo.
And I'm not gonna do the most. Part of my strategy, I can't do too much. I can't show too much in the car. But guess what? I'm trying to do little nice stuff, like during conversation. I'm trying to learn things. I done kind of low key got what her favorite candy was. Now, next day, I'm showing up with that candy. Like I'm literally wowing you out of what I want, and I just enjoy that chase.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, like, for real. So I'm definitely on the opposite end of that one.
Well, yeah, we're natural hunters, though. I mean, to an extent, we I think we all. Well, I ain't gonna say we all, because some of these cats I've been seeing are different, but most of us enjoy the chase and things like that. Miss Penn on Facebook said you're rare, Kev.
Oh, I'm rare.
Yeah, you're rare. And that's fair. A lot of men don't want to deal with a woman with boundaries. A lot of men, especially now, because we see it all the time with women that go out and just try to have a good time, or just want to do their thing, and you have a guy that try to holler at them or speak to them or whatever, and as soon as they get turned down, the guy gets violent. The guy want to curse him out. The guy want to say, "Dude, you ain't all that." Blah 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 blah. So yeah, dudes don't respect boundaries anymore.
Nah, I don't put myself. I absolutely hate that women do that. One, but two, and I used to teach my young boys this or whatever. So I'm very strategic, like I mentioned earlier. So what I like to do is I like to put a woman in a position to where she can't really like pick up that I'm trying to holler. Say for example, I might meet a woman in the gym. She might have on a certain type of headphones that I don't have. Like, let's say some beats that are a certain color. I might approach her and say, "Hey, where'd you get those beats from? Like, I've never seen that color." Now, if she gives me Best Buy, boom. Oh, okay, boom. Enjoy your workout.
Yeah.
Oh, I got them from, I got this color from this Best Buy or whatever, but they're not everywhere. Boom. Then on to the next question. I'm not finna, and I hate when guys set themselves up for the kill like that. I'm not approaching you. What's up, what's up, LeBron? Then even if a woman wants you, let her be in front of her friends and you don't come correct. I don't really set myself up. I hate when women do that to men.
Yeah.
That's why men feel so intimidated about approaching women. But I'm gonna come ask you a nice general question. If I see you're interested in me, I'll keep going. If not, okay, have a great day. Just want to know that. So yeah, I don't. You ain't gonna make me look like a fool.
Oh
yeah.
I
deserve to look like a fool.
Yo.
I'm correct, but women still do it, man.
Oh yeah, and it's happened to us all. I mean, I've been in that position before where you kind of you'll talk to somebody, and then yes, please, Miss Hunt, and then you you get turned down, a shot back or whatever. It's just that it's kind of a gift and a curse with me because that never deterred me. Even when I was younger, if I get a no on the left, then guess what? My head turned into the right. It is what it is, but some of the questions we got coming in on Facebook, Miss Penn said, how old is the young man that's speaking? I put up to 35. You 35, right, Kev?
Yes, sir, 35.
Yeah, 35. What happened to men pressing women? I'm gonna tell you what happened to men pressing women. And y'all may not like this, but the vast majority of the problem when it started happening, when men stopped pressing women, was when, for whatever reason, women decided to not wait on the man and just started going for what they know. Right. You have so many situations where, I mean, y'all see it. It's some show where the I can't remember the name of it, but the men are in prison and the women take care of them. Then the men get out and they date them or something like that, or supposed to marry them or whatever. But you have so many situations where the women are pressing the men and not forcing the men to be men. And it's even crazy to even have to say that, because you shouldn't have to force a man to be a man. But it happened so much to where men basically got lazy. Yeah, love after lockup. That's right. Thank you, Carla. But yeah, a lot of men just got lazy.
Right. I feel like women lowering their standards will make a man lazy quick.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If you, like, for example, at the school I work at, the kids, I mean, I get tired of telling these kids, pull your pants up, look, do this. But I'm like, you know what? If these little girls stop liking that,
yep,
you fix that much quicker than me telling you to pull your pants up.
That's right.
They look at you like, oh, boy, like, get out my face. Like, my dad shows me differently. My dad told me that a man's supposed to look like this, or my uncle shows me differently. Then they'll stop doing it, But until these girls keep liking it, they're gonna keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So lowering your standards gonna have you in the world of trouble.
As long as and I'm not gonna say thug, because all thugs aren't bad, but as long as the dusty dude continues to get the woman, then there's no incentive for him not to be dusty.
Yeah.
Chew on that and make it cornbread, if you understand what I'm saying. Doggone, as long as the dusty dude continues to get the woman, there's no incentive for him not to be dusty.
Right.
And that's crazy.
They should have a personal standard.
There you go.
Higher than that, but it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't anymore.
I'm gonna do what you allow me to get away with.
Mm-hmm. And there was a time where there was just something inside of us as men that spoke to us when we were messing up, when we were doing stuff that wasn't quite manly. If your father or your uncles, like you said, or the OGs weren't checking you, then there was something within that would check us. It's like they started making dudes to where that part wasn't implanted anymore. That part is just not there anymore, bro. And I talk to some men. Like I'll get in conversations with some guys and I'll be sitting there, and the more that I converse with them, the more I'll be saying, okay, now is this guy just purposely trying to be this ignorant? Because it baffles me how some of the mindsets and some of the things that go on, how it can be that way. I just don't understand it. And it's not always the young guys either. These are some guys that's my age or your age. Adrian Tatum said the absence of men and leading youngins to manhood today leads to the decline of men tomorrow. You absolutely correct.
Oh, man.
Absolutely correct. And it's it gets kind of frustrating because that's things like Adrian, myself, other men that I know, Dwayne, you, Kev. We try to get it back to a good spot, but there's so many that are quote unquote lost to where it's going to take a lot more than just us. Now, that's not to say that we're going to stop, because I'm never going to stop doing that, because I have sons myself and I have nephews myself. But there has to be a lot more of this going on for it to actually matter at all.
And I feel they said a mouthful over there, and I feel like that's the field of work that I'm in. Like I work at the high school, and when I tell you negativity, it saturates wherever you go. It's overwhelming. Like from what they watch to the moment they wake up, to their household, to when they walk around their peers, it's like they're forced to be a certain way. I'm like, when is doing good things good anymore? Like being good is lame now.
Yeah.
Making good grades is lame. Like looking presentable is lame now. And then where we used to have it is, we had people to look up to, dads, if not dads, football coaches, uncles, things of that nature. Now they don't exist no more. You see grown men leading these kids to the wolves, sagging their clothes and all of that.
That's right.
Ridiculous at this point. I'm telling you. Even somebody made an example of back in the day, R&B music would be not granted, they talk about sex and all that, but it may be like talking about being good to women, this, that, and the third. Now, even R&B music, it's talking about, like, R&B is like rap music now. Like, we don't love these chicks, man.
Yeah.
So we ain't flipped up, bro. This world is being saturated by negativity. It's getting more and more difficult to the people that's trying to help, that number's going down. The people who's polluting these kids' minds, it's on an all-time high. So it's tough, but like you said, I'm never gonna stop, man. It's a passion of mine. So
yeah, and R&B doesn't even stand for rhythm and blues anymore. It's romp and butt.
Yes, sir.
That's all it is now. Scoop Beat said, "Guys need to make guys accountable again." That's a dope start. I absolutely agree. Kings need to start kinging again, and that's actually what we're doing, Scoop. It's one person at a time, one day at a time. But I have faith that we'll make a good enough dent to where the next generation won't have some of these speed bumps and pitfalls that we're seeing on a day-to-day basis. Speaking of pitfalls, I gotta mention it. Even though this I guess this might flow into what do men want a little bit, but this whole Freaknik craze that's going on, bro, these people are actually nervous and scared because of this doggone Freaknik documentary that's going on. And I went to Freaknik one year. I saw some crazy stuff. I didn't do any crazy stuff, but I did see some crazy stuff going on. But my thing is, I heard about a lot of the unfortunate things going on with the men taking advantage of the women and stuff like that. But as far as what I saw, it was like Bike Week. It was like spring break at some of these girls gone wild videos that you see and stuff like that. So I really don't know if it's just a viral moment that people want to act like they're nervous about. But I'm like, come on now. Outside of the horrible criminal stuff that was going on, y'all didn't do nothing twerking on the hood of that car that these jokers ain't doing when Glorilla come on now.
Well, I had one of my students post a picture, like, you know, the freaking picture, and they were like, "Oh, y'all talk about this generation, but look how bad we are." I said, "Trust me, this was an event, and don't get me wrong, yeah, these things happen, but you cannot compare today's generation to another generation. Like this generation is so far gone to the next front." So I agree. Them was snippets. Them was snapshots.
And speaking of Glorilla, I played let me tell you what I did real quick before I go on to the next question. Last week, I played there was a young lady that came on and I gave her some theme music, right? And I played about 23 seconds of Glorilla's FNF when she was coming up. And do you know, after last week's show, I got an email from YouTube saying that because I didn't say I didn't own the rights to the music or whatever, somebody flagged it for copyright purposes, and they banned me. They banned that particular episode in 2 parts of Russia. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. Somebody said tread lightly on Glorilla.
Hey, how old is that person?
I have no idea, bro. I don't even know. But next question though. Have you ever found yourself putting women in a box due to the encounters you had with other women? Yes, Russia.
I'm gonna say quite naturally from the jump, you know, because if you're going into from one situation to the next, you're a little apprehensive. You know, I know what I just got out of. I know where I ended. Let me look for these signs. But then once they showed that they were different, or they showed that this is not how this is going, you know, I quickly take you out of that box. So I'm not going to dwell. And my last woman was every time she texted me saying that she was at the stove, she was really at somebody else's house. Now I'm gonna be questioning you. Nah, you know what I'm saying? You might have that in the back of your mind. I know why this ended. So let me make sure I got my head on the swivel. But once you see somebody for who they really are, there, nah. So I'm gonna go with no. I don't typically hold anybody accountable or responsible for what somebody else did. So I'm gonna go with no. A little, you know, I keep my head on the swivel, but no, I don't.
Yeah, there was a time. What you say?
Now I don't think that's fair.
I agree. It's not fair. There was a time though when I wouldn't say that I keep a woman in a box, but I would have that third eye open, because especially if her close friends and stuff like that she liked to spend time with were looser than a doggone grape jelly jar when you're trying to make a PB&J sandwich. If it was like that, she liked to spend a lot of time with her, then I'd be questioning, because you everybody done heard the birds of a feather flock together. Now that's not always completely the case, but I'm not gonna hang around a crackhead too long unless I'm smoking crack. You know what I mean? What are you gonna want to be around the person that's sloshing and doshing if you sitting in the corner being faithful to your man, but she tossing it up like Casey and JoJo and Tupac in the corner? You ain't gonna want to do that for so long.
Right. Now sometimes you grandfather friends and say y'all both friends, y'all both single, and then you get a man. Am I saying cut that friend off? Of course not. She might have some ways that you don't like. I'm not saying you should cut her off. That can still be your friend.
Yep.
But if you got somebody like you said that just dumb loose and always like to go out, always like to hang out, you probably gonna take on some of those traits. So
at some point,
right.
And that's just my opinion. Now, those that disagree are more than welcome to come up into the box and say so, but that's just my opinion. It's like if I mean everybody has been around people. Well, I don't know about everybody, but a lot of times, even when you were growing up, if you had friends, good friends that were always doing dirt, and you may not be that type person, but the more and more you hang around them, at some point you're gonna get some dirt on your hands.
Right, most definitely.
If you could tell a woman exactly, well, before I ask that question, I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking this question. Because in the beginning, when we were saying, hold on, before I get to that, let me see. Penn says, so are you saying it's not possible for a person not to be like the birds they flock with? Just asking. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that the probability is high that the longer you hang around said person and the longer that you're in the presence of them doing something that you may not want to do, the more probability it is that at some point you're going to get some dirt on you as well, whether you want to or not. It's bound to happen. Probabilities. That's all. Not that it's guaranteed.
I'll respond to that by asking this question: how likely is it for you to be friends with someone or close with someone who is a certain way or likes to do certain things a lot, frequently, and you're not interested in any of that, yet you're always around? That's it's the likelihood is kind of low. Now, yeah. I can answer that by saying yes. Say your girl has a friend that she's loose. Am I saying that girl, my girl is loose? Not at all. But I guess the things that she does that kind of characterize her that way. Like, she always in the club every time it's open. She always doing, I don't want my woman to be in the club every time the doors are open. So, and if you're not really like that, quite naturally, you might not be as close to her. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I guess the answer to the question is they don't have to be the same way, but I guess that's where that phrase, that term, birds of a feather flock together comes from.
Yeah, they flock. That doesn't mean, I'm not saying that means that they're going to do, but it's like Kev said, what's the benefit to continuously putting yourself in a position that you don't like or you don't frequent? That's because Carla says she disagrees, and Karima said you might hang around them because that may be your assignment. That's true. I've turned down a lot of assignments though, but it's just like, and this is not a one size fits all type thing. Now this doesn't go across the board. I'm saying for the most part, like if I for instance, I have friends that go to swingers clubs. Not my thing. I don't go. So we can still be cool, but I'm not going to frequent those places with you, because if I'm going there multiple times, at some point maybe a woman will catch my eye. You know what I mean? Maybe some guy's girlfriend or wife might catch my eye the more that I go there. So at some point you run the risk of doing something or being into something that you may not normally do.
Right. And I can say on
you're most welcome.
Side, it's kind of like to each his own with the dope.
Yeah.
If I got a homeboy that he sleep with a different girl once a week, and I'm married, I can still be cool with him because there's other things we can share interest with.
Yep.
We like to hoop. We like to talk about sports. We like to do these things. But when he goes his separate ways, so I guess I gotta agree with that. You don't have to be what that person, you don't have to do what that person does.
Yeah.
But I feel like certain interests that, I guess a mindset. Your mindset may kind of be the same. Like I said, sports. I like sports. We like to talk about different things. But when you go your separate ways intimately, I don't have to be that way. So you can still, I'm not saying, oh, your friend is a hoe, you can't hang with her no more. Because that don't make you a hoe because you hang with them.
Exactly.
But I think kind of in general, your mindset is kind of close to the people that you're close with. And if you got somebody with a polluted mindset, or he got kids but don't take care of him, he always in the club every night, quite naturally, you might want to kind of separate yourself from them a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
not saying that you got to be in the club all the time. So I'm kind of in the middle with it.
Yeah, I guess that's one of those gray areas because it's just like people that are very spiritual or biblical, whatever you want to call it. That's where that all started with church and stuff like that. They saying they want you to be around like-minded people. You know what I mean? Around people that believe, walk, some of the same ways that you do. And that's not to say that you won't ever go outside of the church, but I'm talking about for the majority of a person's time, not just one or two instances. I'm talking about where you spend the majority of your time. But that kind of got off of what men want. Well, no, it didn't, because there are a lot of men that are that way. That what they want is a woman not to be as connected to those things that he deems as not positive and stuff like that. Because that's been a huge argument with men and women when it comes to that friend thing. There are some guys that a woman's man hangs with that she doesn't like, and she feels like they may be an influence, and vice versa. I haven't. I think the only time I ever experienced that, I have my older brother. That's one drink gone. My older brother is very you can call it what it is. He's a hoe. He's very hoish, and amongst other things. So back when I used to hang with him a lot, if I was dating a girl and she knew him, you know, she would feel some type of way if I was ever going to hang out with him because she knew what he was about. And since she knew what he was about, she was like, okay, I know that's your brother, but if y'all going to hang out all night and I know what he's about, what are you going to be doing?
Right.
And the majority of the time, that's why I stopped really hanging with him, because a lot of times that is what he wanted to do. He wanted to be on his BS.
Right. Sometimes, you know, if y'all go to the club and hang out or whatever, I guess if you put yourself in that lane that they're going down.
Yeah.
He goes to the club, he picks up women, he try to have sex with them. So why are you even going down there saying that? Like, you don't need to be at the club with him all the time. But if you like hanging out and you're responsible, I guess your job is to show your woman that I'm not that. I can show you that I'm coming home in a decent, and you gotta put in some work. Coming home in a decent hour. He went his separate way, like, because I'm gonna be honest, like, when me and my wife got together, like, I got a cousin about it. We're extremely close. But I let her know, like, I'm not gonna stop. And he's single. I'm not gonna stop hanging with him. We went through it for a minute. I'm letting you know I'm not doing these things. I might like to hang out, but he's single. He can do single things. I'm not gonna do these things, and you just don't have to meet me in the middle. Because I'm not gonna let a woman or anybody make me stop doing the things that I desire when they're not wrong. I'm gonna put in a little effort. Hey, I'll make sure I text you. Hey, just hanging out, just check it up. I'll do some groundwork, but I'm not gonna allow you to make me stop doing anything when I know I'm doing the truth.
That's facts. Cuzzo said, if she trusts you and you have respect for her, it shouldn't be a problem. Well, that's two things right there that knock that out. One, she didn't trust me, and two, I didn't have respect for her in the end. So that's why that didn't work. But it is what it is. Everybody ain't for everybody. But if you could, and this goes to what the men want, and this question is so women can hopefully get a better understanding of who we are at our core. So if you could tell a woman exactly what makes you you, what would you say? How would you explain that?
What makes me me on a personal tip? I would say the inner me, my personality, the way I think, the things that I'm into. I feel like I'm a leader. I enjoy leading. I enjoy being in charge of not only my family but other situations, but not in a biggity way. I just enjoy leading. I feel like I got a pretty good sense of humor. Um, I guess I could say, and I'm doing air quotes, that I'm woke to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I mean, I feel like my personality is what makes me me.
I feel you. I'm definitely what makes me me is I'm driven, I'm motivated, and I'm unapologetically myself at all
Right.
times. Um, whether it's liked or hated, I'm gonna be me. You what you see today is exactly what you're gonna see next week, next month, next year. I'm who I am.
I believe if we can all practice that, the world will be a more authentic place. I believe that my definition of lame is being something or trying to be somebody who you're not. Whatever you enjoy, don't care what it is. Don't care if the masses doesn't really view that as being cool. Bro, be you or whoever. Be you and be genuinely who you are, like you said.
Yep.
Unapologetically you. Why would you apologize or why would you feel any sense of guilt for who you are personally? I really don't understand that. If you like a certain thing that the masses doesn't like, it is what it is. Get with the people, hang out with the people who do like it. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying? So stop trying to be what you see. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I like that. Be unapologetic food.
That's right. Scoop Beats said, I'm glad the ladies on here are understanding and let their guys hang with anyone, no matter the lack of morals. That's risky and a whole new level of trust. You right about that. It's definitely a whole new level of trust. I wouldn't say that it's risky though, only because if you truly get to know the person that you're with and it goes beyond the surface, then there is no risk. You know what I mean? Because you understand what kind of respect they have for you and what kind of loyalties they have for you. It's only a risk when you don't really know who you with, like you think you do.
I'm gonna put my little twist on that and say
Thank you,
that
Cuzzo.
I can
Uh-huh.
I didn't cut you off. It kind of lag. So I'm talking. I'm not sure you were there.
Oh no, you good. I was just answering somebody on the Facebook Live.
Okay. I can appreciate when a woman trusts that I'll make the right decision of who I'm hanging with. But I feel like as men, you need to hold yourself accountable of hanging with somebody who will drag you down. Like I tell my young boys all the time, go run a mile with 5 people that you're faster than. Say you run that mile in, let's say 7 minutes. Go run that same mile with 5 people who are faster than you. I guarantee you can beat 7 minutes. So as a man, I feel like I don't hang around anybody who, and to each his own. Yeah. I don't hang around anybody who is constantly in trouble. I don't hang around anybody who doesn't enjoy making money. I don't hang around anybody who I can't hold a conversation with longer than 10 minutes. Like I like people who can make me better. I like people who can push me and we push each other. If there's somebody who's a constant drag or man, he always in trouble, man, I gotta bail him out. Naturally, we may have grew up homeboys or whatever, but after a while, I promise you, we gonna kind of, it's gonna be, hey, what's going on? How the kids? I ain't talked to you in a while. It's gonna be that because, and I feel like a woman should say, my man is mature enough and he's smart enough to pick the right crowd to be around. Now you can't be telling me who to pick because I'm a grown man. Yeah. But you gotta trust that you pick the man that's intelligent enough to not have anybody, bring it down. So to kind of elaborate on what he said, I do appreciate that in a woman, but I feel like a man should be responsible enough to pick the right people, to be in a circle.
Most definitely, and like what you were saying, like for a long time, people used to laugh at me when they would ask me who my friends were and stuff like that, and they were like, "We don't never see you hanging with nobody. You always by yourself." And I told them then, 15 years ago, it's the same as it is now. My circle of true friends are as tight as Nat Booty because I can count it on one hand, bro. I do not, because I don't. It's like you said, with associating with people that's either there or better, because iron sharpens iron. It's not going to benefit me at all, intellectually, physically, emotionally, none of that, if who the group of guys that gets the majority of my time don't want to do anything. They're lazy. They aren't motivated. they aren't intelligent. How is that going to make me better? The friends that I have now, majority of them, I've known since I was literally 6 and 7 years old. So I cannot stand the old boy, but I do agree with his the cream color cat that's got the song No New Friends. I ain't even gonna say his name, but I agree with that, because with me, friends goes beyond way beyond associates. Because you can meet somebody today and then tomorrow they calling them their friend. There needs to be some kind of deeper conversations than just who's your favorite sports team.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you're imparting into one another and you're helping one another and you're giving information to each other that can better your life and your livelihood, that's when you start coming into that circle of where I say, okay, this is my friend here.
Right. Now, I know we're out of time, but I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you on that one. As far as new friends, now it ain't like it used to be. You play with a kid at the sandbox, now that's your best friend.
Yep.
However, some people who you've been known for forever, like I like to say, they appear to be a friend because the opportunity hasn't presented itself for them to show you otherwise. However, I can meet someone now, of course, it is properly vetted. You know, I ain't gonna just meet somebody and we talk about sports or we do some type of business deal, now they're my best friend. But I do feel like people can come in your life and be closer to you or more committed to you than somebody that's been there for a while. So I
facts.
Put a guard up when it comes to new friends. If the timing is right and it shows that, hey, this person is there for me and I can reciprocate.
There you go.
I don't put a wall up when it comes to that, but I do know that everybody doesn't have the right motive.
That part.
Feel that, I'll accept it with friends. So.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. There has to be something more than just the surface. Hey, I'm such and such, you such and such. We like the same team. Now you're my friend.
Yeah, we're friends, my bro.
Yeah, because that's how a lot of people get messed up, and that's how a lot of people are rocking now. That they feel like, okay, if they have a drink with you, all of a sudden y'all best friends now. Then something go down and you ass out. You out there by yourself.
And you wondering why.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, do you find it easier for men to express what they want on a deeper level when they're talking to other men or when they're talking to women, and why?
I'm going to say to each his own. It depends on the man. However, I'm going to say it's easier for me to, let's just say, me and you are having a conversation. First of all, you are a man. So I can cut out a lot of the explaining and trying to jump through hoops because you'll understand me better.
Yeah.
So I think is we can trim a lot of the fat. I can get straight to the point. You can relate. Women can relate to me. They can understand. They can't say, yeah, bro, I went through that too. No. So I think it's much easier to get my point across to another man. But I feel like if a woman is understanding, it can be equally as easy for a woman to kind of be sympathetic or empathetic or whatever you have, but I think it's a little easier to get it across to a man.
Yeah, I agree. Now I don't see anyone right now fighting to come up, and you have like 40 seconds left. So if you want to come back up, that's great. I don't like I said, I don't see nobody asking to come up right now. Let me read a couple of these comments on Facebook. My first friends are my cousins. Yeah, family tends to be the first friendships that we acquire. I don't think I missed too much on Facebook as far as, and if I did, I'm sorry, y'all. If somebody asked me something, just ask it again. I'll try to catch it on the second sex go. That might be why they think we only want 6. But on the second go round. But yeah, you can come back up, bro, if nobody trying to come up, I don't know. Normally we have people that want to kind of discuss a little bit of what's been talked about, what's been heard. And ladies, you can come up and ask myself or Kev any questions as well, and we'll answer them. And those that are watching me on Facebook, if y'all got any questions or whatever, throw them in the comments. And if I can't catch them, I'm sure Miss Hunter catch them for me. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was just saying I'll come back up and just somebody else want to come back up, just put them up.
Okay. Now I wrote down a couple things that I personally want as a man, since the topic is what do men want. I wrote down a couple things that I personally want, but I'm gonna read some of those off, and with each one I read out, tell me if that's one of your things too, or also what you feel about this and how important this is in your opinion. The first thing I wrote is what I want is to be heard and to be understood.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, being understood comes with communication, and I believe that's the most important thing in any relationship, whether a spouse, a business partner, period. So yeah, you definitely need to be understood. That's nothing. I think nothing's worse. It makes you feel like you're in a box when you're trying to express yourself, trying to get something out to somebody who you love and want to be with or be close with, and they don't understand you. That's a bad feeling. Like being put in a straitjacket.
Yeah, definitely. Now, do you feel like that comes easy, or do you think it's like a struggle to be heard and understood?
It depends. It depends on the person that you're trying to get to understand you. It depends on their personal experiences, their maturity in life. Because I can be telling you something, I'm the type that I talk with my hands. I can be very descriptive when I talk or whatever, but if that person ain't ready to receive it or their perspective is different, you're not gonna be understood, in my opinion. So I don't believe it should be easier, because I gotta accept that you're different. You may say something, I kind of analyze, okay, that's the way you feel, I respect it. But it's a little underrated, I think. Like being understood happens a lot less than it should, I believe.
I definitely agree, because in my experiences, the being heard part is not usually the problem. It's the being understood.
Oh yeah.
And I think I can attribute myself to a lot of why that is sometimes, because I have a habit of talking like I think, and sometimes my freaking brain is all over the place, and I'll be talking to somebody the way that it's in my head, so it's not as easy for them to understand, and sometimes they get frustrated with the hearing part, and sometimes I get frustrated with the talking part. Because there have been times where if I felt like they weren't getting it, I'll shut down and keep it moving. I'll be like, oh, never mind, and keep it moving. But that's a bad thing to do when you really, truly want someone to understand you. You have to also have that patience to explain properly.
And I feel like where the maturity gets lost in that is a lot of people, they understand you, but if they don't agree, then the understanding portion of it gets lost, because like people say, agree to disagree.
Yeah.
You may say something that I don't agree with, even though I understand what you're saying, I don't agree with it. So the first thing somebody might say is, see, you don't understand. I don't even know why. I just don't agree with you. I understand exactly what you're saying, exactly how you think something should be, exactly how you feel about something, but I just don't agree with you. And a lot of time that comes out like a misunderstanding.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Scoop said, in all you're getting, get an understanding. That's facts. That's extremely important. Miss Kiki said she agrees. Transparency is important while listening to learn to be better. Facts. Without the transparency, then there's always going to be that area with a wall up when you're not totally being open, especially with the person that you want to understand you. You have to be extremely transparent and 100% open with them, or you can't expect them to understand you or even halfway see where you're coming from.
Right. Even though I don't practice this, I haven't practiced this all my life. You know what I'm saying? But I think one of the truest sayings ever is the truth will set you free. You ever told the truth about something, regardless of what it is?
Let me tell you,
you're accountable for it or whatever, but you release it off of you. You were transparent and you put it all in that person's court. So the truth really does set you free. You know, we don't practice it all the time.
Even when the truth didn't physically set me free, it doggone spiritually set me free, because but bro, there is a weight that's lifted when you're 100% honest. Yeah, there's definitely a weight that's lifted. But the next thing I wrote down was, for me, being respected.
Oh man, and it's crazy that we didn't say that one time, during the question, but I honestly feel like I'd rather you respect me than love me. Like, I truly do.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I may be wrong. I feel like it can be the opposite for women. I feel like women, it's more important for them to be loved. Sometimes, not in all instances, but they like being loved. I honestly don't care. When you say you love me and I don't feel like you respect me, I don't care nothing about you loving me.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I feel like respecting me shows that you love me. So that comes second. If you don't respect me, that love is not the one. You can be, totally disrespectful to me and I love you. I'm not studying the love part.
Yeah,
the respect is huge.
I definitely want the respect and the love, and I feel like when it comes to a spouse, you can't have one without the other. Now, when it comes to other people, you can respect somebody and not love them.
Oh, what's that?
Right. Yeah, but yeah, that's definitely huge. And if I'm being totally honest, majority of relationships that I've had that not only didn't work but kind of ended bad, it was because there was a lack of respect. And not having respect for one person ends up flowing into both of them, because if she doesn't respect you, you in turn don't respect her. Right. So respect is huge. And a lot of times, I think it's very easy for a man to lose the respect of a woman from a woman. I think it's easy to do so. So that's another reason why I feel like that transparency is very important. And knowing who you're with is very important. Understanding how to communicate with the person and learning them on a different kind of level, because we as men, and most times we're not even thinking about it. We'll do something, and to us it's very, very small. It's very small, but that can have your woman looking at you sideways from here to the daggum camel humps come home. And that's what is. There are a couple things that are not impossible, but very hard to regain when it comes to a woman, and that's trust and respect. Right. Once they falter, once you lose it, or there's a break in that foundation, it is so hard to gain that back.
Right. Even if they stay with you. I feel like they may still stay with you, but they don't show them for that trust is a terrible game to play. When they don't trust you, that is aggravating.
Yes, sir.
And that respect, though, like, if they lose respect for you, well, you understand, we see it in movies, we see it in real life all the time. Yeah, I'm sure somebody going with it.
Yeah.
The actions of a woman that doesn't respect a man is brutal. Like, women cutthroat.
I've had some well, I ain't gonna say some. I had one that I can remember very vividly. This woman, I think I was about 26 or 27 years old. Man, this woman here, and I didn't even know she had a husband until after the fact. A little time, you know, passed, but she had totally lost respect for her husband. And she eventually, once I called her out on it when I found out she was married, she eventually told me why. But some of the things this woman did, bro, because she didn't respect this man here, I could write a movie. I could write a movie just centered around that particular situation. But real quick, let's put a pin in it so I can check these questions out. Miss Penn said, shouldn't love be all inclusive?
Like with respect and all of that.
I guess, but look at when we get to saying things like shouldn't something be a certain way, we have to think about what time period we're talking about, because things should be a certain way, but we all know that they don't always work out like that. I mean, because to me, cornflakes should be soggy before you eat them, but there are a lot of people that like them crispy and crunchy. I mean, love should be a lot of things, but we have changed what love is to us as a people, not meaning me personally, but we have changed what love is as a people, because at its root, yes, love is all those things. Love is kind, love is patient, love is long suffering, all of that. We change it though. We change these physical definitions of all this stuff, and that's why we get in so much stuff.
Right.
I would say something else, but I don't know how Facebook operates yet. If I can just be as open as I normally am. See, this is why, let me take this moment too to have a small commercial break. This is why all of y'all that's on this Facebook Live need to go over to my YouTube channel, King Shit Productions, and subscribe there. Because on over there and on the Wisdom app, we talk however we want to talk. But I'm telling you, the way Mark Zuckerberg or whatever his name is on this Facebook stuff, I don't even know if it's certain things I can say, and he might ban me for a while or something like that. So I'm trying to keep it clean right here. And being that I've been banned in a couple parts of Russia just for playing a song last week, I think I need to do some research on what I can and cannot do, or I'll get in a lot of trouble, especially when I be sipping on a little something. But yeah, it should, to answer your question, yes, it should be. It doesn't always work that way though, unfortunately. Carla said we use love too lightly. I absolutely 100% agree.
Of course we do.
I definitely agree with that. And that's why go ahead, brother.
No, my bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why.
I thought it kind of cuts you out. So
oh, you good. But yeah, I was just gonna say that's why for a long time I didn't even want to hear a woman tell me she loved me. For a long time. Because I saw so much outside of myself that people did to other people that they claimed they loved, whether that was relationships or family or anything. I just saw some of the most evil things happen with people that said they loved each other. So when I would hear somebody say they love me, it would go in one ear and out the other. I'm like, okay, I hear it, but if I didn't feel it, you may as well have saved the breath on that one.
Right. I feel like love, man. When you love somebody, it's like swiping a credit card. You go buy something for $10,000 because you got a credit card, knowing you ain't got that money to cover. So you can say whatever it is you want to say, but you ain't got the action behind it, backing it up. I think love is as big an action word as you can get. You know what I'm saying? And to answer that young lady's question, or to elaborate on it, she said, shouldn't love come with all of that? Just like we had a couple weeks ago, we talked about love being unconditional.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe 5% of people who love somebody loves people unconditionally. And I also feel like the purest form of unconditional love comes from a parent and a child. You would think, because the way we think, especially nowadays. Yeah, I love you unconditionally. Until you piss me off, or until you cheat, or until that's not unconditional love.
That's not
so
unconditional.
It should come with all those things, but it doesn't. You can't just cut what some people do, but cutting a child off and all, you would deal with. You go to the moon and back for your child. What you gonna do? Oh, you ain't my child no more. I ain't fooling with you no more. So I think that's like the purest relationship that gets close to unconditional love. But respect, it definitely. Well, I think a woman can love you to death and really do love you, but if they don't respect you, they would treat you like garbage.
Oh yeah.
You know, and treat you all kind of ways, but still love you. You know, or still have love for you. So it should come with these things, but it doesn't. And like you say, these days, I love you, like, but you ain't showing it. Like that ain't really the way it's at. Like,
that flows off the lips like ice water in June. I'm
right.
telling you, it just goes. And I had a conversation with a guy yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. Well, we were talking about that unconditional love, and he said, and before I say this, let me just say this. Let me give another disclaimer. I believe in God. I do. Let me just put that out there. Because with what I'm about to say, some people may think that I don't, but I do. It's just that I've experienced a lot when it comes to church and spirituality, and I like to ask questions. I like to research. But before I get into it, let me say this. Lena Baker said, love and respect are two different things. Facts. Ms. Collins said, can you live without respect? I can live without respect. If you meant, can you love without respect? Not quite. I don't personally think so. But yeah, I can definitely live without respect because I don't have to deal with a person that doesn't respect me. Oh, back to the conversation. Yeah, we were talking about unconditional love, and the guy said, God is the only person that loves unconditionally. And I said, are you sure that God loves unconditionally? And he said, yes. And I told him to give me an example. And it went from there because a lot of stuff that I talked about in that conversation was things that I've had in conversations in previous years and stuff like that. And I like to dissect things. I dissect the Bible. I've read the Quran. I dissect that to the best of my abilities. I've read the Book of Mormon. I'll dissect that to the best of my ability. I just like to learn. And if there's something I don't understand or something just seems a little off to me, I'm going to research it. And I say that to say that there's always been, I feel like, situations where unconditional love has been tested and can be countered in a way. Because even when we say parents and children, that's unconditional love. Well, look at how many situations we've had where parents are offing the kids or the kids are offing the parents. We see it all the time, so I mean, it goes back to what we said about there. It's not a one shoe fits all with some of this stuff. Lena Baker said you can lose respect and still have love. That's a fact. That's true.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like love is like, I guess care is a different, two different things in love as well. But I'm going to sum up love by saying, if you care about someone's well-being, if you would do for a person in need, those are acts of love. But boy, you ain't got to respect somebody. And I feel like it doesn't come, it's not one and the same. But like I said, for me, respect is more important because that's kind of how you show me that you love me. If you show me you love me, but showing me you're not respecting me, the exact opposite means more to me. If you show that you respect me and don't love me, I'm better with that. I guess I'm good with that, but I'm
let me ask you a question. Because this is what I feel about love, and you tell me what you think about this, and I'll explain it after the fact if need be. And everyone that's watching on YouTube, everybody that's on Wisdom, everybody that's on this Facebook Live, chime in. I wanna know what you feel about this too. I feel like love, when it's real, at its true essence, I think love is joy and pain, both. What do you think about that?
If you're referring to like the times that you go through, I mean, it's joy. We can experience joy together in its purest form. But when we're going through things together, say you're hurting and I'm hurting too, I think that's a form of love. Say you have an ailment and it hurts me to see you hurt, and I'll do anything to take care of you. So if that's what you're referring to, then I would say that that love can be joy and pain.
That's a good way to look at it, but I'm talking about it in this sense here. Like, let's say you truly love somebody, right? You'll do whatever you can do to make that person happy, to make that person's life easier, to build the relationship with that person. That's showing love, correct?
Right.
Also, if you love someone and they're doing something that's harming themselves or you, they're going down the wrong path. You've noticed that some of your actions are enabling them. You can love them enough to cut that off, to not continue to allow them to self-destruct. And that's where the pain comes in at.
Right. I agree. And to sum it up, that's tough love. I mean, that's what I do every day. I mean, a lot of kids that I'm dealing with, when I see them going down the wrong path, I'm coming with straight. You see the pain because that's what I'm bringing. But after a while, you see that I'm doing this because I love you, then the narrative is switched. Like, this person actually does care about me. But yeah, I bring a whole lot of tough love. I think tough love is so necessary till it ain't funny. That's when you really see that somebody loves me. They're not just gonna enable me. They're willing to make me upset. They're willing to fall out with me because they love me, instead of taking the easy road, letting me do things that I shouldn't do. And everybody's not built that way, personality-wise, to correct people when they're wrong. But I mean, that shows tough love.
You're right. And let me tell you something that I had to struggle with, and I still daily work with this. I'm 6'3", 297 pounds of pure, unadulterated demigod. But when it comes to my children, that's some of the toughest no's that I've had to give. Tough look. When I tell you, it definitely, you remember how they used to say back in the day, this is gonna hurt you, this is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you or something. That's factual for me. That is factual. It can be as simple as a piece of candy or something. And my daughter could be like, Dad, can we go to the store? As soon as the word no comes out of my mouth, I feel like somebody's punched me in the stomach.
Right.
That's tough for me, bro.
Right. I agree. I make so many promises to my son, and my wife like, you got to stop that. If you tell him that you're gonna go to his favorite store, $5. 90% of the time he asks, I say, okay. First of all, because I know I ain't gonna break the bank at that. But I say yeah. But I remember one time I had to spank my son. He was going on a little tangent in school for about 3 weeks straight. He was just acting up. The teacher calling me. I don't know why he's acting like this. So I'm in the middle with it. Very rarely do I spank my child. Very rarely.
Yeah.
But he needed his butt tapped. So I'm talking about, like, my wife couldn't even be here. She left.
Man.
But I had to do it. I told myself, if I don't put a stop to this, he's gonna go down the road that I'm allowing him to go down.
Yeah.
So I mean, punishment. He ain't never sick, but we took some of his stuff. I had to pop that butt. And you're right. Lord knows I ain't want to do it, but he shoulder started, straightening up, and that's that pain.
Man, I tell you this. I thank God, the Most High Lord of Lords, every freaking day that my voice and my look has been enough. I'm serious because I know I couldn't handle it. I'd be crying right along with my kids because my oldest is 27, I believe. I believe Courtney's 27, 28, somewhere around there. I just know my youngest is 9. I have never laid a hand on any of them.
Right.
Thankfully. Now their moms have, did what they had to do, but bruh, I cry like a baby. I would.
I got 2 boys.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you doing great. You doing great. I tell you straight up. Kiki said love has many attributes of building before it's official as love itself. Love is what love does. Facts. Scoop is being Scoop. He says, don't just love me when I don't even know if Facebook gonna let me say this, but don't just love me when I'm juggling in, but also respect me when them things have come out. It's all love when your back getting blown, but is it respect after that when you ain't being thrown? Oh, this joker rapping. Okay, let me stop tripping. I need to grow up sometimes. You are crazy. Oh, see, I got it right. My daughter in here. Yeah, I got it right. Okay, good. I'm okay with the numbers sometimes, but yeah, the third thing I wrote is I want to feel safe, and let me explain what safe is. Safe to me isn't as far as being protected from danger. Safe for me is being able to be vulnerable, being able to speak my truth, being able to say whatever I got to say, and you know, the person taking the time to listen to it and things like that. So that's the safe that I'm talking about. I have to be safe. Can you hear me, bro? Something done popped off, Kev. I know you said you can't hear me. Try to drop down and come back up. But yeah, so when I say safe, that's what I'm talking about. Because a lot of times I think a lot of men, let me drop you down, Kev. Hold on. All right, if you can hear me now, Kev, just come back up. But I think a lot of men don't feel safe in these relationships. They don't feel safe in just having conversations with the women, because a lot of times men feel like they can talk to other men because they feel like it's a safe place. They feel like the man is going to know what they're talking about or be able to kind of associate with them at some point. But I'm gonna see if Kev can come back up now, y'all. He had some difficulties, but you back, brother man?
Yeah, I lost you for a second.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, what I was saying was, did you hear what I was saying about wanting to feel safe?
Nah.
Yeah, I was saying wanting to feel safe in the sense of being able to be vulnerable, being able to have those in-depth conversations with whomever you're talking to, and not being judged or not being looked at as less than. So that's another thing that men want. They want to feel safe.
Oh, most definitely. I feel like it kind of comes with your personality as a man. If you're like, I feel like, and I don't use this word lightly, if you're more of an alpha that doesn't really care what people think about you, you're a little more likely to kind of get off your chest exactly the way you feel. But if you got a man that's a little more timid or a little less likely to just say exactly how he feels and be vulnerable, I think some of that falls on the woman as far as if I tell you something, and vice versa, it works for women as well. If I tell you something, like, show interest in it. Don't bash me about it. Don't make me feel insecure about it. If that's the way I feel about something, that's my view on something, okay, you may not agree, but I think it's very important during the initial stages of getting to know somebody to make the man feel like he can be vulnerable. Because like we talked a couple of weeks ago, that's a little tough for us. We feel like, who do we go to? Women are cry on our shoulders and talk about whatever, and we're there to listen. But who do we go to? Who do we go talk to? So yeah, I think that's very important.
Yeah, I agree. And Courtney said, do you also feel like you have to be in a space where safe is able to be created? Like, say you want a safe space for vulnerability, but you don't know what that looks like. So it comes off as defensive or combative. Or should I allow you to express as you see fit? Um, I wouldn't say express as the man sees fit, because like you said, sometimes they don't know how to effectively express, because when somebody expressing themselves becomes disrespectful or violent or not progressive, then yeah, you need to, as the woman, say, hey, wait a minute, I'm not understanding, or can you better explain, da da da. Don't just let a person just go off the handle and try to express themselves if they're not coming across in a good way, because then you're going to miss it and they won't be understood anyway. Robbie says some women are extremely cruel when a man is trying to be vulnerable. That's facts. I've experienced it. Carla said, totally get that. Being able to freely express yourself without fear of being shot down, misunderstood, or belittled. Very important. Most definitely. A lot of times let me say this. There are times I've known women that have had that done to them, and they'll be hurt, they'll feel bad, but still try to express themselves. Most men, not all, most men, it only takes one time for you to shoot them down. One time for you to make them feel small. One time for you to not take what they're saying, you know, seriously, and belittle them or something, and they probably won't. They probably won't try it again. They'll find somewhere else to release.
I agree. Yeah. I feel like it's so important and so underrated for you to during those initial stages, like let me express myself, and like someone stated, being shot down or something, that's dangerous, because I feel like the days may very well be numbered in your relationship, or you're going to be in a toxic relationship, because a man is going to let stuff build up. Either they're going to release it to someone else, or they're going to let things build up and feel like they can't express anything to you, and stuff builds up, just naturally if they don't go anywhere. So you got to make a man feel like, I can put this on you. You can kind of make me feel good about it, or make me feel like it's okay to feel that way. That means I can trust you, and with that anyways, I can trust coming to talk to you about some way I feel or whatever. And I think that's important, very important.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. I'm pausing because I'm reading some stuff too. True love is not just sacrifice. It's about always finding the perfect reason to sacrifice anything for another person's happiness. Is consistent selflessness. I'm sorry. That is absolutely factual. I love that.
When it's reciprocated.
There you go.
Don't be a dumb.
Well, hey though.
You feel like you put your life on the line for people, and they just take it, and that makes them feel like, oh, all his cards on the table, he's gonna do anything I can do, and I ain't gotta give nothing back. And that's that. You gotta reciprocate.
But what Love said was still factual though, because even when you aren't getting it back, you expressing it is still love. Now that doesn't mean you supposed, like you said, you ain't supposed to be nobody's doormat and just accept any old thing. But if I love you as my brother and I'm helping you out, or I want what's in your best interest, no matter how you come at me, I still want those things. I'm still available for you to help you out or whatever, whenever you feel like, you want to get some sense and doggone come at me correct. You get what I'm saying? But I also don't have to darn be around and just let you abuse me or disrespect me or anything like that. Carla said mental health for men is very serious. People assume men should hold everything in and be strong. Absolutely. And I made that mistake a lot back in the day. I held everything in. And a lot of it was because when I was growing up, my father didn't have an open door policy like I have with my kids. He loved us, but he showed it a little differently. So if there was something I wanted to talk about, or if there was something I was going through, I didn't feel comfortable going to him and saying, "Dad, this is what I'm dealing with," as a child. But because I felt that way then, I carried that into my adult years, and that that's some of the toxic traits that I've had in relationships where I'd be feeling a certain way or want to say something, I'd hold it in because I trained myself to do that. I trained myself not to be expressive. And that was very, very bad. It was it had me depressed. It had me high anxiety. It was just horrible. I didn't get that fixed until I started going to therapy. It took two plus years of therapy to get me to where I'm more expressive now. I talk about situations. You know, if something's going on with me, I have no problem with voicing it. But that took time. That took work. What do you feel about that, Kev? The mental health for men?
I feel like, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm going there out of my Wi-Fi and I'm getting back
Okay.
on regular. But yeah, I think that's extremely important as well. If you shut down, you got it to where you can't express yourself and feel okay about the way you feel. It's gonna back up like a septic tank or something like that. All those feelings are gonna continue to come. And like you said, as men, people are quick to tell us how we are not supposed to feel. Oh, you feel like that? You soft. You're important for that person. You're gonna shut down. You're gonna feel like I can't take that route anymore. So it's extremely important that you have somebody who you can get these things off your chest. And that's why I think that counseling, therapy, it was always delivered that to us like, man, you don't need that, man. You don't need, like, what you mean going to, telling them your business, this and the third. But
yeah.
I remember when I first went to therapy, I'm like, wow, the person was well trained. They got some things out of me that I didn't know. They went all the way back to my childhood. They broke some things down, and I'm sitting there like, dang, that's why I feel the way I feel. That's why I shut down when I shut down. That's why. So I feel like therapy and mental health is extremely important.
It is, and a lot of times, especially with our community, with Black men, and shoot, at a time it was Black women too, but especially with Black men, they don't grasp on to therapy as much as it's needed. Because I'm telling you, that was a time where I felt the same way, like, oh, you don't tell them people all your business and blah blah blah, until I started telling those people my business and saw the benefit from it.
Right.
Courtney said mental health for men is most important. The man is the head and the leader. It affects the whole household if the man is not up to par. You're absolutely correct. It's a domino effect. And I say that about when it comes to the relationship, that even when the relationships don't work, it comes like that with the father and the mother. It's so important that they keep a good rapport. They continue to communicate. They're adult about it, because that stuff falls down to the kids. When the mother and father are beefing, kids feel that, and they're affected by it. Believe it or not, there are a lot of dudes out there, unfortunately, that refuse to be in their children's lives because they beefing with the mom.
Oh, yeah.
That's a stupid freaking reason, but it happens. And there are a lot of women that aren't allowing their children to be in the father's life because they can't stand the daddy, because the daddy cheated on them, because the daddy with another woman now, because she asked for $100 and he only gave her 65. Stupid stuff.
Yeah, you gotta know the mental health for that child and the well-being of that child is more important than your toxic, feelings. You know what I'm saying? You want to get back at a person through their child, because one thing about it, and my oldest son's mom did this to me for a minute. That was the absolute only thing she had of mine or on me is we had a child together that was in her care. So it's like I hate him. What can I do? This is the only thing I can do. I know he loves his job, so they play these games with him, and that's I hate when women do that. And it's men as well. Don't treat the woman right because you want to get it. Or don't treat the child right because.
Bro, I had a situation with one of my daughters, and until I knew better, I didn't do better. But there was a time I used to let her push my freaking button because she knew that the only thing that would get me is if she either said that I wasn't going to see my daughter anymore, or if she put my daughter in it some kind of way. I mean, she used to curse, "Oh, you don't want me, but you with somebody else, da 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 da." That never got me. And then, boy, as soon as she said, I'm gonna make it where you can't see your daughter no more. When I tell you I was hopping in that car faster than Mario on Mario Kart and going down that doggone road. But then I had to start realizing, okay, she making me come out of character every freaking time she doggone do that. So I just had to start chalking it up to, okay, she's just toxic, she's just negative, and you totally concentrate on the child. But the best thing for fathers that are in that situation to do is be adult about it, be a man about it. If the relationship is not going to work with the mother, at least have it to where it is your relationship with her is good enough to where y'all can co-parent to the best of your abilities.
Right.
Because every relationship doesn't work.
Yeah, most definitely.
But you have to do what's best for that child.
They're going to use somebody that's hurt that wants to hurt you. They're going to use anything that they can. But boy, I went through that for so long. But boy, it's something about that law. I ain't gonna lie. When you put that law on people, they tend to wake up and smell the cup. Or they tend to act like they got some sense.
You doggone right.
No. And it took a minute for me. It took a minute. My one, I'll never forget, it was my birthday 3 years ago. And she was like, "We're not dealing with it." And the paperwork alone is the reason I'm scared. It's intimidating. It's like a book. And the lady told me, she was trying to intimidate. She said, "Now one page can be big." And I'm like, man, I can't fill out all that. It's information that they need from the info too. But somebody helped me. It took me 4 hours. Filled it out. And boy, I know if I get any bit of resistance, I'm already on. I'm calling the lawyer. For real, I ain't playing the game. She took me through hell for years. Why with me being on child support? But I didn't have visitation rights. Why I put that law on them, boy? It was I'm walking on clouds with my son now. I'm telling you, put that law on them. When somebody is mistreating you about your child, when they know you have their best interest. But I'm talking about she will go without answering, trying to turn my son against me, not answering the phone, being real sporty. Like my granddaddy would say, being real sporty. That long, boy, I'm telling you.
I'm not even gonna get into my my crazy stories when it comes to a child and the mom. I ain't even gonna get into. I told that earlier today when I was on my boy Dre's podcast, but I'm gonna leave that there. But Courtney said, I heard someone say, if you stop showing love to someone, they will make you hate them just to still have a piece of you. That's psychotic. That is psychotic. That's crazy.
Hey, I'm gonna get some of this toxic energy whether he like it or not.
I do not swim.
Toxic people do when they love each other. We finna argue, finna do all that.
I don't. Anybody that's ever had any amount of time connected with me will tell you I do not do toxic behavior at all. I will get silent and I will disappear. I don't swim in that toxic pool. I don't play that. Because my brain get too evil. I can't. No.
You ever notice the people who are really done with you and they've released you and they're mature enough to say, I'm over and done? They're the best behaved woman.
Yeah.
you have no problem out of them.
Yeah.
It's your child. Come get them. Let's co-parent. But the ones you still got that hold, they don't want to let you go. They're gonna act that way. So I'm definitely.
Yeah, I don't do that at all. But I'm gonna tell you this: we got another commercial break coming up because this Ron running through me. So I'm gonna read this one, and I want you to slowly give your take on it or whatever to give me time to have my commercial break. But I wrote, I also want to feel included. And what that means is the inclusion of the life goals, the partner's family, not so much friends unless they're like best friends and stuff like that. But men want to feel included as well because that also helps them feel important. And I'll be right back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Okay. Were you done with the question? I don't really do a bad area.
Oh yeah, I'm finished with it. You take it away. I'll be back in a second.
Okay. As far as
be back in a minute.
Being included, most definitely. We may act like like we really can include it. However, I want the option to be included with everything. If you're doing something with your friends that I don't really care about, you got it. But I want that option. As far as with your family, I want that option. As far as with your goals and the things that you're interested in, I want to be included in everything, And I think that we don't do that enough in relationships. We don't sit down and write out goals and maturely hold each other responsible and accountable for achieving their goals, or at least working towards their goals. So as far as being included, I feel like we're too much of individuals sometimes in a relationship, and you should very well be yourself in a relationship because you're whole. You should be whole before you come together as one. But I feel like we don't include each other enough at times. Like, what goals do you have in the next year? Include me in them. How can I help you out? How can I hold you accountable when you get home instead of getting on social media? Now, man, you say you was gonna do an hour with the work every day. If I'm not included, I don't know what you got going on. And you may go on a spell to where it's been 6 months since you picked up your hobby. So I feel like your significant other, they definitely need to be included in whatever you're included in. And whatever you got going on. I guess he's still taking his break or whatever. And I can't see the questions and stuff on Facebook, so I guess I'll just wait till he comes back.
I'm back.
Hey, all right. Did you pick up anything I'm saying?
Hey, I was too busy trying to doggone get all this rum out. But what were you saying?
Basically, in a nutshell, what I was saying was, most definitely, I want the option to be included in everything. If it's something that I don't have an interest in, I don't have to do it, but I want that option.
Yeah.
Not I want to, hey, me and my friends going to the mall, let me know what's going on. But I was saying we do too little of including, we're too much of individuals in relationships. Yeah, we should be whole before we get in a relationship, but I want to, if my wife has ambitions and goals, I want to know what's going on. Hey, I'm trying to get this business off the ground and start this. Now, let's write that out. Let's hold each other accountable in a mature way. Because Lord knows we can be mean when it comes to holding each other accountable. But in the next 6 months, I want to have it off the ground. I want to LLC. I want to do this. I want to do this. Okay, now when you come home and see you've been slacking, hey, babe, we ain't doing that. Remember you say by May, you want this off the ground. That's me being included. And a lot of people are scared to include each other because they don't want to be held accountable. I want to be able to slack and get on social media and not hear your mouth. And one thing I hate in relationships, I'm sure men do it as well as women, but one thing I hate is if I come at you with, hey, no, let's get it, we grind, let's get this, you take it as me nagging or something like that because you don't want to be held accountable. If you include somebody, be ready to come with that accountability. You know what, you're right. Or be straight up. You know what, not today, but I promise you tomorrow you go there, we're going to get on. You know what I'm saying? So I think we should definitely be included in whatever our spouses have going on.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, a lot of times that's one of the only ways you're gonna really get that deeper understanding of who they are as a person too. Because, like you said, you may not want to do everything or go everywhere with that person, but just the knowing part of it
Right.
helps you better understand them. Carla said, when I was married, I invited my ex everywhere. Although I always knew he would say no, I did that because I didn't want him to feel excluded. Exactly. And I found that when you're really building with somebody and when you truly want to have a future with them, there are a lot of things that you will do that you may know that you may know that your partner doesn't want to do it or is not as interested as you are. But there are some things that you do simply out of that quote unquote love that you have for them to let them know, hey, I'm not trying to leave you out of anything. This is what I'm going to do. Would you like to go? Blah 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 blah. So a lot of it is just the you're doing it more so for your partner than yourself.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Sometimes it's kind of like a natural, angle. I mean, I kind of disagree with, and I guess it's okay to invite me to everything. But
Yeah.
naturally, I'm going with my girls. We're going to go get the marathon. Come on, that's a given.
Yeah, yeah.
Or if I need you for something else, dang, I kind of had this going on. Let's negotiate. Let's say, what can y'all push back to this time or something like that? Include me in that way to make sure I know what's going on. But some things you're not going to be into doing. Hey, I'm about to go shoot hoops with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not literally inviting you to some things just actually we know I'm doing with my friends.
Yeah.
And you're doing with yours. But I guess it's good to give me the option to be included with you, with whatever you got going. But some things is kind of like I know better.
Yeah, and sometimes I know with me, I was a little sneaky with mine as far as inviting. Some of those options I was given for my benefit. Like if I was going to go play basketball or something like that, at the time I'd be like, "Hey, babe, you want to come play basketball with me?" Because in my head, I'm like, "Okay, after basketball, I'm gonna want to get something to eat." So really, I'm asking you to come so we can eat, and not really the whole basketball thing. Okay, Courtney said, well, let me go back a little bit. Robbie said, I invite Bay to everything, even though I know that he's not going to come, but it's a respect thing for me. Yeah, that respect is real big. Courtney said, that's something I have to work on because I'm such a loner. I sometimes don't realize how not being included would bother someone. Something as simple as saying I instead of we. You're right. That's very, very important and very good that you even noticed that because I'm a loner too. And I had to work on that because men, which I know women do, but men hear those little intricate things as well. Like when you're constantly saying I, it will make a man feel like, sometimes they even go as far as say, yo, what am I here for? If you feel like it's only about you and you're going to do everything, what are you with me for?
I feel like the things that are more so in your interest though, I'd like to get the respect part by you saying, hey, me and the girls want to do such and such. Like, you didn't have anything planned during that time, did you? Or, do you have any issue with me going?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, some things you ain't got to invite me to everything. Because quite naturally, as mean as this may sound, you might not want me to be with you with everything. You might need some me time, or you might want some time with you and your girls. And you ain't got to be mean by saying, hey, me and the girls are planning to do this. That's letting you know in a respectful way, you're not invited, but are you opposed to me going? And is it something that you had planned and that I may have to rearrange? I'm running it through you. But I'm not invited to that, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Because guess what? It's going to be some things that I'm going to do. Hey, I'm going to shoot pool with the fellas or whatever. I'm not inviting you to that. I'm just not. You're not coming. As mean as that sounds, you're not coming with me here. but I'm gonna run it by you. Hey, baby, I'm gonna shoot pool with the fellas. You good with that? Oh, dang, I had this or whatever. We're supposed to take my son to do such and such. All right, but hey, fellas, I ain't gonna be like, I'm good with that. I'm not just macho. Hey, I said I'm going, so I'm going. No, but guess what? You got to be good with not going to this, but you're not invited.
I used to be so weird, man. I've had issues before because I was pushing the woman to go out and do things. She started getting suspicious. She was like, "Why in the world you always want me out the house?" I was so comfortable being by myself, though. It wasn't that I didn't like her, love her, or want her. It's just I'm so comfortable being with me to where sometimes I was like, "Guys, could you please go do something?" You know what I mean?
Communicate that with that, when you got with that person, did you communicate that? Hey, I enjoy being in a relationship, but I'm also a loner. So.
You know what happened? I did, but it was so out there with the way that I explained it, the way they thought I was joking. Because it started with a conversation of we were talking about you know how sometimes you can have an argument with a woman and maybe 30 minutes to an hour later she may be okay, look, we get our apologies, we back to normal. We were having a conversation like that, like how long it takes you to come back together after an argument. And she was saying something like, yeah, if we get in a bad argument or something like that, after about 30 minutes or an hour, we need to be making up and I'll forget about it. I'm not mad anymore. And I was totally honest. I was like, well, I don't operate like that. I can, if the argument is bad enough, weeks can go by and I could still be thinking about that doggone argument, still be mad about it, still not ready to move on, depending upon what happened in the in-between time. Because what the problem is, you have some people to where y'all can argue about a situation and before the I'm sorry's or before the situation is fixed, the person feels like they can just pick up where you left off. And I was always like, nah, you can't go from A to C without going through B. If we haven't discussed or fixed this situation, then we're not, to me, I can't go back to the, oh yeah, that's babe, we good now. No, we still got a situation we got to fix.
Yeah, I agree with it. I'm the same way. And I feel like a lot of women may be like that and not men. Maybe I'm not sure, but I'm with you on that. I feel like you can't give me no set time because one, it depends on the extent of the argument. If it's a huge argument, it ain't no way I'm gonna go 30 minutes and everything is back fine. I'm probably still gonna be mad in 30 minutes.
Yep.
So I'll go some days. Now I don't think I'm with you with them weeks because I'm on some frequent coaching before.
Brother, hey, I can operate. I can operate like that and still be mad.
Okay.
I can get that need met and still be upset. And after it's over with, and that spoon and cuddle time come, nah, separate. Get off me. Get off me. I'm still mad.
That's all I signed up for.
Yep, that's it. You got what you needed. Now we still got to fix this doggone problem before we get back to like we were.
Oh yeah, problem got to get fixed before, or at least got to be we working on it for me to be, and then me trying to get back right is showing you that I'm working on it. Okay, that's my process of I might swallow my pride a little bit. All right, let's kind of talk about it a little bit, maybe lay up on the couch or something like that. I'm getting over it, but I don't just move on and be happy.
Nah,
getting that problem fixed.
And I'm all for I don't like to have the anger extended. It's like if we're both going to come to the table and be able to talk about it, then I'm all for fixing it quickly. But a lot of times you get those situations where one of the other are not trying to fix it right then. And it could be the man or the woman. The woman could be ready to fix it and the man's still hot, or vice versa. And then, like I said, with men, 9 times out of 10, once you shut them down that first time, it's going to take some time for them to come back for round 2.
Right, most definitely. And one thing I like, though, is progress. I remember I used to be a snowball effect type guy. It could be the smallest thing ever. We let it snowball, and I'm mad for 5-6 days.
Yeah.
But the progress of let's come together, quick. Listen, like, okay, we ain't going nowhere. Let's get that out of the way. So the fact that we finna just go day to day mad doesn't make much sense. Let's go ahead and put this on the table, get it situated, get it figured out. So, we came, a long ways with the growth on that. But I used to get mad, especially regardless of what it is. It could be who left the doggone milk out. But if you throw some disrespect in there, boy,
yeah.
I go a week and a half, boy, I don't want to talk, none of that. And it could be about the smallest thing. But when that disrespect go to hit, and I even try to warn you, listen, before you say something that you gonna regret, think about it. Before you say the wrong thing, boy, I will do the most.
I'm trying to tell you. Nikita waiting to come up, Kev. I'm gonna bring her up real quick. We're gonna see what she has to add to this discussion.
Oh yeah, I'm still here. I'll jump now.
All right, I got you. Yeah, I could have bought somebody up on Wisdom, could have bought somebody up on Facebook Live. Either one you want to come up on. Hey.
Hey, y'all. Kevin! My boo. What's
up? What's going on with you?
I have a couple of questions because I like it turned up a little bit. But we had this on your other shows before. Do men really want a very peaceful, kind of subdued woman, or do they want one with a little ratchetness to it too?
Yeah, I'll say it has to be a healthy balance.
Okay, so what do you mean by that?
Get a little gutter and be a little ratchet if you need to be when it's us. But if we out in public and that ratchetness can either cause me to have to hurt somebody or get locked up, I need to turn it down.
Gotcha.
Because I've been in situations where the woman I was with was meek and sheep-like at home. But then when we somewhere, and like I told you, like I said at the beginning of this, when my circle is small as Nat Booty, when we in a place where I'm by myself, meaning the only man, she decides to turn up and it's like 8 to 10 people there together. You know what I mean? So there's a time and a place for that turn up.
I got you. So it's almost like if you and your brother or sister, your sister did something wrong, you got to come up and fight. No, she wrong. But then when you get home, you just, you know what I mean? It's like you discuss it there. You don't do it out in public in front of everybody.
Oh, facts. Yeah, because I didn't even with that situation with who I was with at the time, I didn't let her know that I was upset with how it went down until we were in the car on the way home. I'm never going to chastise anybody that I'm protecting in front of other people. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go all in, do whatever I got to do. And, we could talk about it later. The whole, hey, this could have been done a different kind of way. But while I'm in it, if I'm protecting somebody that I'm with, I'm going all out. It's going to look like doggone the Avengers Endgame. I don't play about that.
So what if something does go down and you handling it to a certain extent, but what if she like me, District 25, Oakview, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, wait a minute, you're not doing what you need to do fast enough, and she just kind of start whooping, you know what I'm saying? Like really going in like a dude.
I gotta go in then. I mean, there's no calm down point then. It's already done. I gotta do what I gotta do.
So do men like a Bonnie and Clyde type of female?
If I'm gonna say this, and I'm speaking strictly for me, Kev can come up and give his input, and any other man in here listening to this can come up. For me personally, I used to be obsessed with the whole concept of Bonnie and Clyde. But I will say this, as I got older and as I got wiser, we want, and I'm trying not to speak for all men, I want the Bonnie and Clyde without the end result of Bonnie and Clyde.
Gotcha.
So we still,
a little bit, don't it?
Yeah, we still want that that loyalty that Bonnie had. We still want that. Hey, if you going in there, I'm going in there. with Bonnie. It's just now though, we kind of want and I hate to say it like this, but I'ma just say it because I can't think of another way to say it. If somebody has to be ignorant and somebody has to be smart, we would rather y'all allow us to be ignorant.
Gotcha.
And y'all be the darn voice of reason and the smart one. Even if you're not gonna stop me, I already know where the exit is. I already know how we gonna get out of this.
Gotcha. Okay. So here's something I've been struggling with. We all kind of do. We have our hands and feet and whole bodies in a lot of different things out here. And, people reach out to you. Social media is just what it is. And people reach out to you on social media and you talk or whatever. And that's it. There's nothing sexual. There's nothing like, we're trying to hook up. And it's women who like to go through your page and see who hearted your stuff and who comment and, and they get mad and it's the argument. And then, would you ever tell like a female friend that you have on social media or, look, just don't say anything on my page. Don't like them. Don't ask me nothing. Would you ever do that?
I've had situations kind of go that way, but I've never told anybody not to say certain stuff. I don't censor people. It's like, and that's what I mean when I say people have to know who they're with, who they're getting in relationships with. If I'm with somebody and she's going to know up front, how, especially when it comes to social media, she's going to know how that kind of world operates. So if a woman can't, and I don't want this to sound the wrong kind of way, but if a woman can't, isn't comfortable with other women saying stuff. Now, I ain't talking about being straight up disrespectful, but if a woman can't understand other women saying stuff and stuff like that, she's probably not a woman that's going to get too far with me anyway.
Yeah. And then I think this is my last one because I talk a lot. I'm long-winded. You come back up and you say your piece, but what about privacy? Do men care or whatever it is that women like to go through their phones, again through their social media, they might be riding together and say, Kevin, or you having a conversation with somebody and they don't know who it is and ask you a bunch of questions about what you're talking about?
I say this, and this is just how I am. And this can be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. I honestly think it might be a bad thing. But I'm the type person to where if something's going on, even if something isn't going on and it may look that way, and I'm trying to change it a little bit, but if something is seen and it turns into a big thing, it is what it is. I'm like, hey, I'll tell you what it is one time. And if you can't handle that, that becomes your issue, not mine. Because I don't go through people's stuff. And if somebody want to go through mine, I'll tell them like my mama has always said, and she says it religiously. She said, no matter what it is, if you go looking for something, whether it's something there or not, you're going to find it. So I feel like if it were me, if I got to go through my woman's phone and stuff like that, then I'm already out the door anyway. If I feel like I got to do that, I'm already out the door. Because in order for me to feel like I got to do that, then I done already seen some stuff or felt some stuff that I'm not comfortable with.
Gotcha.
Because I'm not going to do, I don't think people, well, there probably are some people like that, but I don't think for the most part, people just wake up one day and say, okay, I want to go through my person's phone or something like that. They saw something, heard something, or felt something that make them want to do that. So
sometimes, but
sometimes
women listen to other women just like men listen to other men.
Mm-hmm.
And they like, well, damn, I wonder, is mine doing that? So they start snooping and making a big deal out of nothing.
Yeah.
Like Kevin, we know what Kevin does, and you know, you might have one of the kids at the school or a parent, and you know, it's a conversation that you're having about them. And, you know, the wife goes through the phone and is like, well, what you doing talking to this woman? You know, and this is his business. And it's a lot of personal information in your phone.
Yeah.
Your computer, whatever, that nobody should have privy to. And I've never agreed with anybody going through anybody's phone or personal one. You have your privacy.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're married or not. That is yours. I mean, you do share, you know, certain things, but it doesn't mean everything. If you don't have private time, then what's the point?
I agree. And I think there are so many reasons why that has crumbled with people not trusting who they're with and stuff like that. But I think if more people did exactly what you just said, a lot of these relationships would be a lot stronger. They really would. There's so much that people allow their minds to take in, that doubt, that listening to other people. And that's why I was having a conversation with a friend of mine earlier today, and I was telling him, I keep eyes, ears, and mouth out of my house. I don't go around talking about what I have going on. Now, my close friends and stuff like that, people will hear some stuff, but people that I don't even know. And that's what gets me about, I said this many years ago about Facebook, and hopefully Mark won't tap me for saying this, but I don't even like how they call it friends list and stuff like that, because I have literally 1,700 and something quote unquote friends on my Facebook, but yet every week I'm coming on asking people to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You feel me? And I literally communicate with maybe out of 1,700 plus people, I communicate with maybe 20 people off that friends list. So what the blood clot is the other 1,680 people doing?
They're watching, because I'm gonna tell you, and you know, we discuss this. For those who don't know, we talk about something every week, and we discuss this every week about content and our business. And I don't want to be the person on Facebook, IG, TikTok, or whatever doing content, because here I don't know how many friends I have now, because I got people coming up every day, and I don't even know who these people are. They might be the ops, but some of them I take, some of them I don't, and then some of them they come on and I boot them out. But I post different pictures. I say it all the time. Clothes, I can't get nobody to do nothing. As soon as I show a little skin,
yep, that's right.
You know, your stories is, and it's people I haven't seen or heard from in years. Years.
That's
and
just
like,
popping
so
up.
They're sitting and watching. They're looking at everything you're doing. They're just waiting on the right moment to come in and say, "Uh-oh, let me go on and, you know, show my face. What do I need you there for?"
Yeah.
You know, so it's one of those things. I'm about like you when it comes up at the bottom, people you may know. Mm-hmm. I think that's people you may know, and that's it.
And I don't know half of those jokers.
I don't know them either. Lord, I'm just accepting people. I don't even know who these folks are. They people from Africa, and they gonna get you in your DM and ask you about what dollars if I show you my privacy, you know.
Yep. And that's it's crazy that it's like that. But you're right. Just like you say, when you put on something revealing or something like that, you have all kinds of jokers there. The same thing goes when we because you're an entrepreneur too. When we post things about our businesses and things like that, I see it all the time. It's discouraging sometimes to where I'll see 6 or 7 people, you know, might comment. It might get like 40 views. But when I post something, and there have been times I've tested this theory by making stuff up. If I post something where I make a post and it's subliminal like, and somebody think I'm talking to somebody specific and there's some drama attached to it, that joke will have 100 and something comments on it. Crazy.
I saw my friend, and I ended up in New York the other night trying to see who said what, who, where, and who is this, you know? So, but yeah, men, and I was reading comments too from everybody. Listen, we got some great women in here. And again, your followers are always very respectful. Except for me, sometimes I can get a little ratchet, but that's just me. But the fact that women in here really want to understand what men are going through, and I'm an advocate for men. Like their mental health is everything.
Yeah.
Everything, because they are falling off early, heart attack, all that. So we have to kind of rub off on other women. Like, we said it week after week. We know the ratio of men to women is more women than men, and so we just running out here and enabling these little boys.
Yep.
And I've done it. I'm not going to sit here and say I haven't. I've done it as well. But trying to make them better, but we don't even know how to make boys men.
Yeah, because you can't.
We're teaching them all wrong. What we think we're teaching them is not all of it, but most of it is wrong.
Yep.
So they come up with these effeminate ways, which I'm not saying the other way. I'm just saying it's more like, I want to be taken care of.
Yep.
This, the other. And it's okay to take care of men. It's okay to a certain extent, but you still got to teach them how to stand their ground and protect you.
And you know what happens when y'all stop doing that? That's when y'all end up getting bashed.
What you say?
That's when y'all end up getting bashed. When you stop enabling and taking care of them, these so-called men start bashing you and talking down on you.
Talking to me. Look how you treat me.
Yep.
What you doing? No, I gotta stop. And I take accountability for it though, because I'm like, I started it. I might more than likely be the reason that you are the way that you are. And then when I try to stop, or I do stop, then you change it on me, and then they don't want you, or it's a big argument. Okay, it's okay.
It's bloody ridiculous.
It is, but at the same time, you got to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do what you got to do. But I guess that's it for me, because this is a men's show tonight. I'm not gonna be like some people and just take over the show and tell. Let me let somebody be quiet.
It's not a you crazy. It's not a men's show. We just talking about what men want.
No, but I feel like I can't tell you. Okay, so like your show the other week when it was what do women want?
Yeah, last week.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of the men's like, well, this is what we know. That's
boy.
Not what we need. Listen to you guys and write it down and take notes and
yeah. But I did ask for women to come up as well and say what they think that men want.
Well, the experience I've heard is always peace. They want some intimacies, and I ain't got no problem with that, baby. I ain't got no problem in that area there. But a lot of peace, and that's what they say. But I still am in like partial disagreement with that, because I still feel like men want you to turn up just a little bit. When I say knock your head between the white ear and out there to put you back to reality. Well, who you talking to? Who? Shut up. And then I think that being a little bit more not predictable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a man want a woman that's just predictable. I mean, you come in, sit down, and jump up, a wife beating some booty shorts, try to on, do something. I think they like that.
And you think I think where it messed up at with that whole peace thing is we want peace to an extent, but I think the problem is so many men that said peace are those type of men that mean they want a woman to just shut up and let them do whatever they want to do.
Control.
That's their definition of peace. And there have been so many men that have defined peace by that, to where it is kind of flowed over into where that's what people think when they hear a man say he wants peace.
Right. Because if you give them that much peace and you just that quiet, you're not paying attention to them like they need to be paid attention to sometimes. So that's when they get bored.
Yep.
I think. And we've had a discussion about that, but that's neither here nor there. And then they go out here and find other interests. It don't have to be another woman. It could be anything. It could be gambling. It could be, anything like that. And, you want to keep them occupied. I'm telling you, now keep them busy. So again, like if you invite them somewhere, I'm like that. I don't go nowhere. I mean, I will when I get notion to it. I want you to invite me because I want to feel like I'm wanted,
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably say no, but I do want to be invited to things. But overall, men are not hard.
No.
That's just my standpoint, ladies. Men are not hard because I'm what, Sully?
Your daddy's first son?
There you go, right there. So yeah, they're not that hard to read. They're actually a whole lot easier to read than we are.
You are absolutely correct on that.
You probably can want 5 things and we want 1,000. So, and we all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just God made us. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's it for me, I guess.
Well, I always appreciate you coming up, and you had a lot of valid points, and you're absolutely right about that too. We aren't hard. I think when there's a want to understand one another, I don't think anybody's hard. But there has to be a want to understand that person. It has to be, because we have too many relationships out here that are producing children to where you have 2 people getting together that don't really want to learn one another. They just want to boing, boing, bang, bang.
And that's it. And the bong, bong, the bang. And another thing, Kevin and you guys were talking about the baby mamas.
Yeah.
Because the childish behavior of actually holding your child away from their father. And I could see if he was abusive and, strung out, just that way or whatever. But when you have somebody who wants to take care of their child wholeheartedly, you don't even have to ask them for anything, and you're just bitter because that dad don't want you. It's about you. It's don't make it about you. Make it about the child. I absolutely hate that. And my ex, I actually, I did tell him, look, you need a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So, men have rights.
Doggone right.
I don't understand why a lot of women think that men don't love their children just because they don't love them anymore.
Yep, there you go.
And I wanted to stop, because if my kid's father, I hope he's listening. I'm just kidding.
He listening?
If he had been half of a third of what you guys are, and I'm being honest, my sons are fine. They're good, but it's just, if he had just been there, and if I had thought, I just left them alone. And a lot of times women will just walk away and just do it on their own or go find a stepdad or whatever. But for these men who really want to love their kids and take care of them, just let them, leave them alone.
Yeah.
If for you to be, you guys will be back together. But you're hurting the child. Get a lawyer. If you have to get a lawyer, get a lawyer. And get that shared custody and what, if you got to put yourself on child support, put yourself on child support. It's not as bad as what people think it is.
Yeah, I've definitely, and I spoke about this a lot earlier today on Dre's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about that, fathers and child support and mothers and even the dads that actually don't want to be there. But I've had so many situations, good and bad, when it came to kids, but the worst one is it's like you were saying, and I try to tell these young guys and these fathers as well, to the best of your ability, know what you're getting into before you get into it. Because I did what a lot of women do, and that's ignore red flags. Because there were red flags in the beginning with one of my son's moms, but I ignored them because she looked good. And so, but that led to a thus far very tumultuous relationship, because being as she was so mad that I wouldn't impregnate her again, to where she used my son against me. And I'm still fighting that battle. And he's 12 freaking years old now. and she's held him from me since he was 9 months, and I still pay child support. You know what I mean? So there are a lot of things that go on, and it's not just the women. There are men out here that will say, well, just to get at the woman, they'll say they're not going to do nothing for the child. And I'm like, are you freaking serious?
Yeah, mine would tell me, go find a stepdad. And then when I get one, because he was like, I'll beat the hell out of you. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You can't say a lot of stuff. But
well, see, you on Wisdom now, so you could say that. If you on the Facebook Live saying that, I'd be kicked off or something.
Well, I was reading the community standards. I know you got admins. I wasn't trying to jump in their spot or whatever. I was just like, oh, Lord, please.
I don't have no admin. How you do that?
Oh, I don't know. Listen, I'm older than you. I got to learn this stuff too, but
yeah, I don't have no admin.
Oh, well, you need some.
Yeah, you're right. I'll work on it.
You got a whole business going on over through here. You finna be famous, so
there
you
go.
Say it. People up under your assistants, but yeah, I think that's all. Unless I don't know. What else I want to ask y'all? Because I'm confused. I'm conflicted sometimes.
Yo, well, hey, the best way to get unconflicted is to ask for understanding.
Well, I'm trying to make sure I don't have another question because I can't. My glasses are scratched up. You see the type like I want to. Y'all, I'm old. So
I'm hoping that not I'm hoping. I'm thinking that, well, yeah, I was right. I am hoping. I'm hoping that Kev wrote down something because it was something that you said that I noticed that he like clapped to or something like that. So it's something that you said that tickled his brain. So I'm hoping he wrote down whatever it was and he'll communicate that when he come back up.
Ready to come back up yet?
Nah, he hasn't requested to come back up yet. Kev, if I know you listening, Kev, so
got in here tonight.
We got 77 so far.
Where's me in it?
Yeah, that's Kev right there now. He wanting to come back up.
Coming up, okay.
Yeah. All right. And while he's coming up, I want to thank everybody that's on the YouTube watching, everybody that's in here in Wisdom. Thank you guys for coming to listen again. Everybody on Facebook, I appreciate y'all. What's going on, brother man?
Yo, what was it again now? Because I flipped out of that and for some reason it came back up. What were you saying again? Something that she said that I want to chime in on?
Yeah, I saw you. She had said something and you clapped to and was in agreement to. Do you remember what she was saying?
I forgot. I remember I definitely had to give her that clap on it. She dropped a lot of knowledge there. I agree with a lot of the things she was saying. But one thing I would say that y'all did bring up, I'll chime in on, was the peace. Like, I was talking to my cousin the other day about, you want ultimately I want peace. I want to be I want my house to be peaceful. I don't want to have to, argue and stress about tedious things, and everything of that nature. But I don't need you, like you said, I don't need you just to be my everything I need, everything to be peaches and creams and everything go perfect. So I was talking to somebody about just a little sprinkle of, and I don't want to use the word toxic because I'm not a toxic person.
Yeah.
But give me every blue moon, give me a little pushback, give me a little better. You're not a robot, give me a little something. Everything's not going to be perfect because if you get with somebody who's quote unquote, that perfect person, y'all never argue, that person probably ain't the one for me. I'm going to be like, bro, like,
yeah,
everything I say I want to do, you good with all of that. So give me a little something. Give me a little attitude if I done hung out this weekend and I want to hang out this weekend and you like, give me a little something. Yeah,
help hold us accountable. And sometimes that pushback, adds a couple of volts to my doggone battery pack.
Oh yeah.
That might get somebody put up against a wall or something like that in a good way, you know what I mean? But but yeah, we don't want no just sit there and take everything we throwing at you.
Right.
Most men don't anyway. Let me put it that way.
I could be trying to make a decision or something. Hey, we're gonna do it like this. As my wife or my partner, we can't. We ain't doing that because such and such. Now ultimately, and my wife kind of knows I'm gonna do what I want to do. Kind of at the end of the day, but I'm mature enough to say, dang, you know what? She is making a little sense. Let me kind of act like I got some sense now. But if you just yes, Davey, whatever, no, that ain't gonna work for me.
Yeah.
I need a little stuff.
Darn doggone. Karima said she had questions, but it's about traditional old school dating. Ask whatever you want to ask. I was actually trying to I was gonna pull you up and have you ask, but I don't see you. I don't see you down here in the doggone shoot. I don't see you because
and I've been poking at you for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
but that's why we need it. I don't know how hard of a transition it would be for us to kind of get on Clubhouse.
Well, see, you know what though, bro?
Multiple people on stage.
So let me tell you this.
Not talking press mute, whatever.
I'll tell you this. Clubhouse would not be a hard transition because, like I said, I've been going over there listening to other people's stuff. The only issue is, at any given time, you could have 500 to 1,000 people in there, and right. These
you ain't gotta have them. You ain't gotta accept them on the stage.
Well, yeah, but my thing is the ones I have a lot of loyal listeners that come every single week and they be on time, and they're most of them in here right now. I don't know if they would make that transition, if that makes sense. So it's like a give and take. Yeah, I'll be over there and we can have a lot of people on stage or whatever. But some of these, the only way I would be able to do that is if I was over there, but I was still broadcasting over here. So, and it's almost to a point now where I'm at a freaking get another phone. I have a doggone laptop and 3 phones going right now, you know, with so much different stuff. So I'm trying to move it to where once, and that's why, let me explain to the Facebook Live people the reason why I went live tonight. I want everyone to kind of see how my shows flow and stuff like that, so that if you see any value in it, which I hope you do, I'm hoping that everyone will start subscribing to the YouTube channel. That way, once that gets up pretty substantial enough, all of these people can be moved over there, and I already have the platform set up to where we can have multiple people, you know, up and talking and whatnot. So that's the goal. Right now, this is working for what it's working for. I'll definitely be having shows on Clubhouse as well, because that is another avenue that Kev put me up on that I'm gonna be looking into. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a whole lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff coming.
Right. Because it's been times that Kia said some things I want to get in there. Oh, let me chime in on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure some stuff that we done said that she wanted to chime in on. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know it's a process.
Yeah, definitely. But we gonna get it. We definitely gonna get it. But darn, I wish that Karima could come up. I just don't see her because I want to know now. I want to know what she wanted to ask.
Right.
Yeah, she said she got questions about traditional old school dating. Well, I don't know what questions you had, because come on up or ask it in the comments. But what I will say about old school dating, it reminds me of it was about 3 years ago that I found out what dating is to most people, because I thought, and what we're talking about old school, I thought that once you were talking to somebody, it was already exclusive. That's what dating was. If I tell you I like you and you say you like me, then I'm only investing in you. I found out, I think it was January 17th at about 4:47 p.m. 3 years ago, that dating now, the way people view dating is that you talk to as many people as you want to, you go out with whoever you want to, that's dating. And when you decide that you want to be exclusive with one person, then you move on from there. So I just recently found out how this quote unquote new school dating is. I see you on, because it's just, I think I can ask you to come up if I'm I think that's on my end where I have to do it. It's just that when I go up here, it says that there are 4 people in here on Facebook Live right now, which I don't understand how that is because it's more than 4 people talking. But when I click on the viewers, it's only showing me 3 people. It's not even showing me that you're in here. So, I don't know. Well, let me see. Let me see if I can do a little something here real quick.
So while you're pulling that out, I'm gonna chime in on the dating thing. How I was brought up, dating meant that you're out dating. You may talk to multiple people, but when you're exclusive, that means we go together. That's what we used to call it. You go with him or you go with her. So y'all go together. That means y'all exclusive. But I'm out dating, like, just out playing the field, and going on a date was an act of taking somebody out. Mm-hmm. So I think it's kind of like where you're from or whatever, how people use the term.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. That's what it is now anyway. But you say that's what it was back then. See, back then, I was dating back in 1947. So back then, you know what I mean? It was way different than it is now. They're going to figure it out, bro. Karima going to figure out how to get up here. But when she does, she can ask us those questions. But, I see her. Darn, it's not giving me the freaking option to add her, though. I don't know, because you might have to request yourself somehow. Somebody in here, somebody in the comments can hopefully figure out how to do it, because I don't know. She has to go on the left side corner of the screen to join. You hear that, Cuzzo? Go on the left side corner of the screen to join. And while she's trying to figure that out, we got 79 people in here in the room right now on Wisdom. I appreciate all of y'all. And if y'all want to say anything and come up, if y'all got any questions for Kevin or myself, request to come up. Y'all know how we do in here. Most of y'all come every week, so you know how it goes. Just request to come up, speak your piece. I welcome all of it. You'll join next time. No, come now. I'm yearning for these questions that you have, and I'm sure Kev wants to hear them too.
Come on up. I'll drop down, and I remember this time.
Nah, you won't even have to drop down, because this is on Facebook Live. She's trying to come up.
Oh, okay. Oh, while you're waiting on her to come up, Nikita did shoot me a message about what I clapped on. She said she asked about privacy with social media and phones.
Yeah.
I'm kind of. I feel like that's set up on two atmospheres. If the trust is gone, sometimes that kind of comes with the territory. But I'm going to speak on at the beginning, or if the trust hasn't been broken. I feel like, just don't go looking for it. Don't go looking for it. If you trust somebody, kind of because I'm a firm believer in if it's supposed to happen, you're supposed to see that. It'll come. Don't go digging and looking for it. However, I don't agree with you feeling like this my phone, I got a lock on it, you don't know the code, none of that. That can make somebody very insecure very quickly. It's like, what do you have to hide if you're not doing anything? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not looking, but you ain't got to go to that extent. It's my phone. You ain't got the code and all of that. That's going to make somebody feel like
exactly. Exactly. Because if it come down to it, it is what it is. I just give it up. But
that's right, yeah.
The kind of person I am, like I said, I ask questions. So I'm gonna want to know the why behind it, because at the end of the day, like I said, if you get to that point, something has happened that has caused you to feel like you need to do that. So if we're gonna fix the problem, and if I care about you enough, I want to know how to fix the problem. So okay, yeah, you can see it, but let's also fix the reason why you even want to. Am I doing something that makes you feel like something's going on, or I'm not being 100 with you, or whatever the case may be? There has to be something. We have to fix it, because just you seeing the phone ain't gonna fix nothing. Because if you see the phone and you don't find nothing, you still got that initial feeling why you felt like you had to go in there anyway. So nothing is fixed. Carla said, if I don't ask for his lock code, why should he ask for mine? Yeah.
Steve, I don't like, it's just me. I don't like hearing those type of things in a relationship. And I hate when they get to that point. It's like, oh, don't ask for mine, don't ask for me. It's like y'all on some against each other type stuff. Like, don't ask for mine, I won't give you yours.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. If you want to see it, but like you say, I got to give it up. Because if I hit you with some, I ain't giving it to you.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, what, you hiding something in there.
I feel you. Hey, Cuzzo, right down at the bottom where you can comment at, there's a arrow pointing to the right where you can share it, and there's also a little box with a little person right there. You have to tap on that person. That's how you can ask. It's right down there at the bottom where you can leave a comment at. Where you comment at is to the left of that. Hey, Pootie, how you doing? Yeah, you're right, Carla. It's about trust. It's definitely about trust. And I feel like, and I've always said this, I feel like trust is the foundation to the relationship, period, point blank. If you don't have trust, then nothing else that you got going on is going to work. It's just not.
And you know what, another thing, the one way to kill that trust, because sometimes people unfairly use it like, oh, if you don't trust me, you should like use that while you're cheating. You know, while you're hiding stuff. You tell somebody, you try to make them feel the blame for what they're doing, for their insecurities about the things that you put them through. And that's like, you gonna go when they finally do figure out what you got going on. If you ain't doing the right thing, boy, that trust is dead.
Yeah, they turn it on them.
Right.
And that's a quick way to find out if somebody doing some stuff too. When they go flipping on you, and some people real good at flipping stuff.
Oh yeah, real good. They'll beat you mad.
Yeah. They have you second guessing yourself. Mm-hmm. Well, Darren, if I do love them and trust them, why do I want to look at that?
Right.
And the whole time they sitting there twiddling their fingers together, just happy as a lark.
How do you feel about this? When somebody, say somebody looks in your phone and they find something. Mm-hmm. Now, that person may have very well been wrong for going to look, but they may have had some suspicion as well.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that person feeling like putting the blame on them, saying it's your fault, you shouldn't have looked? Like they'll beat you getting mad, saying, why did you look at my phone when you're doing something, when you're being disloyal? So who's to blame?
Nah, I don't play those games. And like I said, I had to grow into that accountability thing. If somebody goes through my phone and they actually find something, I'm not with well, you shouldn't have looked, it's your fault, blah blah. No, I gotta explain what you found. I gotta be honest about what you found, and we go from there. Now, there is no transference of the blame. I was wrong for whatever you found even being there in the first place. So you didn't kind of scratch this relationship contract. I did. I was the one that messed up.
Right.
And it's like but that thing though, that slope is slippery than darn ice on the back of a doggone polar bear darn chasing a penguin. Because on one hand, I feel like as adults, if you're going to be in relationship with somebody, go into it with the idea of things going well. Go into it with the idea of both of you being happy and growing together. Don't go into it with the idea of, oh, well, I don't put nothing past this person. You know, they could do A, B, and C and blah, blah, blah. Stay by your dadgum self. if that's the way you're gonna be looking at relationships or whatnot. If you going into it with the idea, and that's the blood. Let me put my cigar down. That's the way I feel about these. You have these even marriages. When I hear people talk about marriage, and I've heard more than my fair share of people do this. They'll be engaged or about to marry somebody or actually marry somebody, and their conversations will be like, "Oh well, I'm a save up this amount of money, or I put back this much just in case this joker darn trip, or just in case they leave me and blah blah blah." Why are you inviting all that free? What did you marry the person for? If you got a separate stash for if it doesn't work out. Why? These are these things like if I'm riding my bike too fast downhill and I fall off that bad boy and scrape my knee, guess what? I got to bandage that knee up. I don't ride it fast downhill, and while I'm riding, all I'm thinking about is, oh, I hope I got enough bandages at the house because blah, 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 blah. It's okay to be prepared, but when your entire thought process is on the negative, the what ifs, because what if it never happens? Then what kind of energy have you brought into your circle by thinking that it could happen? Now you're treating the person a certain way, or now because that energy is there, you're thinking certain ways that they speak and walk and stuff is one thing when it's actually not, because you've invited that darn energy in.
And I agree with you to a certain extent. But let me ask you this, and I agree with dwelling on it or making it a big deal, because now you're going to be acting like you're expecting that to happen or you're preparing it to happen. But let me play devil's advocate. What do you say to the people who have put their all in, and then they get, especially like I feel like a lot of women kind of get screwed on this at times. They put their all in, or they put their career on the back burner. They're a stay-at-home mom. They had an agreement with, I've seen this scenario happen with some close friend of mine. They were together since they were teenagers. Now they're the same age as me, 35. The man got his career strict. She allowed him to get the best of both worlds. Had two of his kids. She stayed at home, raised his kids the way he wanted them to be raised. He went and pursued his career to the fullest. I mean, he was started in the police academy. He got his degree, criminal justice, started police academy, got with Park Patrol up in D.C. Now he works for the feds, making dumb money. Got his career intact. He found another woman, and she done. She put her whole career on hold to raise his kids and let him get his career right. And he left her, whatever. She had no education outside of high school, and she was a stay-at-home, housewife for the longest. So what do you say about those people who go through those situations? Should they just go all in with it without being prepared?
I think, unfortunately, in situations like that, we have to look at it for what it is. It's life. No matter how prepared we try to make ourselves, sometimes bad things are going to happen. And that's just what it is. But when we know that we're coming from a sincere place, we're coming from a good place, like I said, it's okay to be cautious. But there's a fine line between being cautious and self-sabotaging.
Do you think people can do both, though? Do you think that people can give their all? She was probably, I don't know what she was. I knew she was a great wife. She was a great mom. And she gave him her all, but she was still being prepared, putting money to the side, making sure that she was straight. Do you think that people can do both, or the fact that you're preparing for the worst, you can't be giving your all in the marriage? Do you think that's possible?
No, I think you could be doing both. I'm talking about those that are doing one and allowing that being prepared to override the happiness and building positively.
Right.
Because some people do that. Now, you can definitely be both with being prepared, and just because, like they say anyway, when you get a house and stuff like that, your emergency fund should be 3 or 4 times what the mortgage or whatever is. So it's okay to be prepared. And insurance is all about preparation. Sometimes you may not have to use it, but hey, you'd rather have it than not.
I don't know them personally, but I believe that because if you listen to Shaq talk about it now. He says that his wife was everything. She
Yeah.
had as many kids as he wanted. She was a great wife. She was a great mom. All of that. But we all know what I forgot her name. But we all know what she did. Shaq's wife. She has cash.
Yeah, buddy.
So when the crowd hit the fan, she was straight. But let him tell that she was everything in a wife. So I feel like that's the exception to the rule. You have something that kind of can do that, and I think she was one of them.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Pootie said, I did exactly what you're saying in my second marriage. And I think she's talking about the looking through the phone and stuff like that. And she said, now I feel ashamed because I didn't find anything, and he is actually faithful and good to me. Well, that's those times where it backfires, but don't let that shame stay on you too long. I mean, y'all thankfully got through that and you're happy now, but yeah, I mean, people make mistakes. And I'm not saying the way you felt was a mistake, because I mean, I'm sure you had your reasons, but thankfully, that ended up working out.
And it's also a mature way to do it. If you get caught slipping and he catch you looking through his phone, babe, please forgive me. I was dealing with a little insecurity, but I see that nothing was there, and I gotta be honest with you, like, oh, what a relief it is. I appreciate you for being loyal to me. I'm happy that I didn't find anything, but it gives me some relief. It gives me a peace of mind. And to be honest with you, regardless of how you had to get it, peace of mind is everything. And fortunately, she didn't find anything, and hopefully she can act on that. Like, okay, I admitted it. Now I'm gonna live on that. I'm gonna treat him like he's being loyal to me. I apologize for doing it. It was wrong, but I did get a peace of mind, and I'm good now.
And I think it's important for people to, and a lot of this stuff is hindsight, because in a perfect world, whomever, whether it's the man or the woman that wants to go through somebody's stuff, in the perfect world, they would have a conversation with their partner and say, hey, I'm feeling like something is going on. I'm feeling uneasy. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. Have that conversation first. But most times what happens is they'll wait for one person to go to the bathroom or something, or wait for one person to go to sleep. And before you've even had a conversation, you grabbing something, looking. So it's already going to put people on the defense. Yeah. Carla said, oftentimes we hold another hostage for our past experiences. That's wrong. Definitely. That's why you hear so many people talk about being healed before you get into relationships. And that doesn't mean you're perfect when you get in a relationship, but a lot of that stuff, sometimes people don't even realize they still holding on to. Past hurts, situations that went on with ex or something like that, and they think just because they're not with the person anymore that they're healed from the situation. Now, it's not like that all the time. I had a situation before where I was going to go play pool after work, and my ex-wife was upset about it, and we had a big argument about it, and I didn't find out until after we weren't together, where she said her first husband, every time he said he was going to go play pool, he was out cheating. So when I said I was going to play pool, it triggered something. So yeah, sometimes we don't even realize we holding on to certain things. Pootie said,
communicate that.
Yeah, exactly. That communication, man, it has to be on point. And I think that's an everyday process. I don't think anybody just gets to the where communication is perfect. That's something you have to work on. Yeah, and it's an everyday thing. Pootie said, my first husband constantly cheated and had a baby, and had a baby and all. There was no trust, and meeting this new man, I couldn't put nothing past him. And I went through his phone 3 times, and each time I didn't find anything. And I told him, and he laughed at me. Well, that's another thing. It's good that you found a man that could find the humor in there. So, but imagine if that would have went the other way. because that could have easily went the other way, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why you said you felt shame and stuff like that, because once you do something that you regret and then you think about how it could have went, like there are a lot of good people that aren't in relationships anymore because somebody, you know, did some stuff like that, and people have regrets and people try to call them back, and it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a good thing he was mature enough though.
Mm-hmm.
Because he could have went slap off.
Yeah, definitely. That could have been bad, but hey, we live and we learn. We live and we learn, and hopefully, we as the seasoned people learn enough to where we can pass some of this knowledge down to those coming up under us, so they don't have to go through some of these same things.
And that's why mental health is so important. And I would say, even if it's not coming from a professional, but just teaching people how to do things nowadays. How are teenagers and young adults learning how to be in a relationship other than what they see? And a lot of times they choose to see the wrong things. Like, believe it or not, this music is polluting their mind. They teaching kids, you're supposed to love no chick. You're supposed to have 20 women, and you're supposed to love none of them. You're supposed to treat them like garbage.
Yep.
Like, yeah, you might think, oh, it's just a song. No, it's not just a song. They got most of the young boys are single, raised by single moms. I talk to them all the time. They are trying to work, trying to get it, trying to grind. And when the kid is gone, they learn from society what they see and what they hear. Mainly what they hear, the music. And it's polluting their mind. That's how they learn how to be in relationships. Yeah. That's how they learn how to treat people and love people. They're not learning the right way.
And they watch these cats on social media and stuff like that, calling relationship goals and things. I'll see videos where it'll be like, for instance, I saw a video with what's that dude, Blueface, and whatever his girl's name was, Christian something. Anywho, I've seen some toxic stuff with them too, but you see in the comments people talking about relationship goals, or you know that's real love because they blacking each other eyes and stuff. I'm like, are you serious?
Right.
Really? Yep. That's what real love is? Me putting
teaching your kid, your son, they teaching your daughter that's what you're supposed to go through when a man loves you, and they teaching your son that's how you're supposed to be. It's okay to cheat. It's okay. I mean, I've never seen what you're talking about, but it's okay to cheat. It's okay to have 3 or 4 girls.
If you love her, if she talk back to you, you'll hit her.
Yeah.
That's what love is. Mm-hmm. What the way it's supposed to be is you getting her pregnant, and then when the baby come, you out.
Right.
You gone to get the next person pregnant.
It's almost foreign to hear somebody was married and then had kids. And I'm not saying necessarily that's the right way. A lot of people, fall short of that.
Yeah.
But you don't really hear that like that. I mean, a lot of people they having kids, they ain't doing it the right way. They on to the next.
Yeah.
They ignoring red flags and they letting these men get them pregnant and move on.
And then a lot of the women end up being left holding the bag. And so that ends up stressing them out, or they get depressed, or they feel like they don't have a break. They feel like they don't have a life. It's just an all around bad thing. It's horrible. Let me see. I think I'm gonna try to snatch somebody up and Facebook come up. They probably gonna deny it though. Cause it's a lot of good stuff being said down here. Now, don't think that just because I try to bring somebody up, don't think y'all gotta come up. I guess you can cut the camera off too if you want to. But a lot of these comments are real good comments, so I want to hear, verbally what you guys got to say and what questions you may have to ask. Let me see. Any, mini, miny, mo. I just sent an invite to somebody. Let's see what happens. Pootie, don't go. Cause she said, I'm gonna get off here because dang, y'all talking about me. I got 7 kids, 5 baby daddies. It is what it is. That's your life. It is what it is. Ain't no judgment here. You got that just means you got a lot of love to give. Yeah, that just means you got a lot of love to give. You have 7 kids that you're in charge of raising to be productive adults. That's an honor. How you doing, Pootie? I can't hear you. I mean, you up here, but I can't hear you. Hello? I think she's trying to get her mic right, Kill. She jumped down. It didn't work. But anywho, yeah, there's nothing, there's no shame in that. If you had 7 kids and 7 baby daddies, oh well. You do what you gotta do. Do what's best for you. Carla said, but we also have to accept responsibility as women. When a man says something, accept it. Yeah. We need to stop thinking we could change a man. That's huge because I guarantee you can't.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh, Robbie said she could hear you, Pootie. I couldn't hear you though. Let me see. I just sent an invite for you to come back. We got 83 in here on the wisdom map. I appreciate all y'all. And come up if you feel like coming up. All right, Pootie, I see you up here, but I still can't hear you. They said they can hear you in the comments, though. I don't know why I can't hear you, and they can. That's odd. I don't know. I saw something going on. Maybe it's trying to come up. But yeah, don't darn, everybody's saying they can hear it, but I can't. I don't understand that. Well, if they can hear you, I guess that's, hey, you can talk to them, Pootie. I can't hear you though. Matter of fact, I'm gonna drop you down and try to come back up. Try to come back up for anybody. Try to come back up and maybe I can hear you. But yeah, as far as wisdom goes, y'all come up and speak on it. I'd like for some of the men to come up and say, tell the people exactly what you want. Because a lot of times they have to assume what we want and stuff like that because we're not vocal. We don't speak. Okay, I think Pootie coming now. Hello? I can see you, but I can't hear a word. I don't know, Pootie. I can't hear anything though. I do know that. But since I can see you, I will say this. Don't ever allow your life's choices to have you in bondage. And I'm not saying that you're doing that, but I'm just saying just don't allow that, because I've been there before. What some of my life's choices made me feel like I wasn't worthy for certain things or I wasn't good enough for certain things. Nah, get past that. I'm sure you're doing a great job as a mother. And hopefully the fathers are helping you out too. I think something wrong with my internet. Been having problems all day with it going out. Oh, that's okay. You fine. But what else do you have to add to this? What do men want discussion, brother man?
I would say as far as a lot of people talk on that, and I didn't hit on during the first hour, but what we did hit on it briefly about women, men wanting to make more than their woman and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, man, like there may be a time that your health may not be intact, or you may want. And I got into some rooms on Clubhouse, and I heard where women are like, I want to just rest in my femininity. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, to each his own. I'm not knocking you. That's what you want to do, but I just feel like I enjoy when my woman comes home and she's ambitious about something, maybe at work, or she talks about, hey, I'm coming up on this promotion. What are we going to talk about? Or she might even come home like, hey, boy, I'm telling you, this girl Trina got one more time to try me. And you know what I'm saying? Give me something. You, as an individual, you got a life as well. I don't want to, see your growth. The only time I see your growth is when I look at my doggone credit card statement and you've been swiping the skin off it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to, hey, guess what? I'm about to reach this goal, and I encourage you, or I can count it. Like you said, love is hurt as well.
Yeah.
Hey, I thought I was going to get this promotion. I didn't get it. Now I'm encouraging you. Don't worry, just keep working harder. Like, why would you want to share that as an individual with somebody else? And I'm not saying that because as long as I got breath in my body, I'm always going to be a provider. So if it gets to the point of where you're not making as much, or you can't bring much to the table, I'm always going to provide for my family. That's what I do. But at the end of the day, why you can't have goals and ambitions as well? Why you can't push me? But like we talked about earlier, some men need that to stroke their ego or to aid to the insecurity. I'm not that way. I want to help mate. I want a woman to be like, I got you, babe. Me personally, every gift I get, I don't want to know for a fact that I paid for it. My woman getting it too. You know what I'm saying? She spoiled me a little bit. That's just me though.
You want that equal transference,
right? You know what I'm saying? Sure.
But what do you think when you hear a woman say she wants to, be able to rest in her femininity? What does that mean to you? What do you think she's talking about?
To me, I think some women they say that meaning that's all they want to do. Like, I want to be able to doll up, look pretty, and be a woman. Of course, be that. But I feel like a woman being feminine is allowing me to take the lead, allowing me to be, her man, allowing me to still have some chivalry, that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. It don't mean like I'm supposed to look fine and that's it. I don't understand that. Like, I really don't. But be a woman about things. It's my definition of resting in your femininity. I don't want you to have to protect me. I don't want you to have to be like, I got to worry about how things are going to work. No, you let me worry about that. That's you resting in your femininity. And that's what it means to me.
Yeah, I think every time I hear that, that's what I'm feeling. Like, they don't want to have to always be on 100. A lot of those stresses and stuff like that, they don't want to have that pressure all the time, because a lot of women, unfortunately, nowadays have to do everything. They don't feel that rest. And when I hear I want to rest in my femininity, I feel like they're talking about how, like we were talking about, that old school kind of way, to where there are certain things they don't even have to think about.
Right. But if I take my woman on a date, she ain't had to do no planning. I told her what we were going to do. I came and picked her up. She enjoyed herself. She was the most beautiful woman in the building. She felt that, and she left it all on my shoulders. That's you resting in your femininity, and I'm good with that. But when it comes to your individual goals and ambitions, why would that be all I want for you? Hey, my woman, fine. I wouldn't have married her if I thought she wasn't. But at the same time, what's your individual journey look like?
Yeah.
Be able to talk about something that you strive for and you actually hit it. That's the best feeling in the world. Working hard and obtaining a goal. Why wouldn't I want you to feel that? Some men are like, no, I just want my woman it's still I'm going to take care of it. And you may very well take care of all the financial responsibilities, but it's not about that. When I go to talking like this, people think I want to go 50-50 or something. That's not what I'm talking about. But as far as she may be in a non-profit something where she's not making much money, but as long as she has something that she's feeling accomplished in life, that's what I like. You just sitting around being a bump on the law, that doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. Definitely has to be that balance of being that go-getter and also being soft, being able to, be a boss and also confiding in you and having that part of them that still uses your shoulder to cry on and still wants you to, protect and provide and all of that good stuff for them. Got Nikita want to come up and say something, so I'm gonna swap her up now. Great convo tonight, y'all. Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Hey. Listen, Kev, I don't know what you got going on over there, bro, but you sound like you a little tight. And he's shaking.
You remember?
Us done got low and deep. I'm like, Brad, come on now, Kev, don't do that to us now. Come on now.
You remember when he said? Did you hear him when he said he was drinking wine tonight?
I heard him.
Yeah.
He ain't done in a while. You might not need to drink no more. That took the whole bottle. Okay, so Salim.
Yes.
Okay, guys. So you remember the little I told you about the friend we were talking about subjects, and he was saying that if his girl came to bed and didn't have on, the lingerie and something sexy and this, that, and the other, that she wasn't gonna get no affection.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about that?
I personally don't. I mean, it's one of those things. It's to each his own, but I don't operate like that. I personally don't agree with that. I think the attraction for me goes beyond the clothes, if that makes sense. And so it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if it was lingerie or a torn T-shirt. It don't matter. Is that what he was saying? If she ain't coming to bed sexy, he ain't gonna give her none.
Pretty much, he on the block list, because I don't remember me. He ain't gonna never be able to make it. Because listen, and I do like to dress. I'm not provocatively dressed all the time. I am very confident in body. My weight has been up. My weight has been down. I'm tomboyish, but I'm girly at the same time. So I can make a boy's jogging suit just dressed up with a little bit of, eyelashes or whatever and make it look good. But where and when did you find me attractive? Because I'm not going to always have a makeup. I don't wear makeup now, but I'm just saying I'm not always going to have on a dress, and I'm not always going to have on a heels. I'm not always going to have on something form-fitting. I didn't understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of that depends on what kind of man you're with. And when I say what kind of man you're with, what his intentions are with you. I'll say that. If most men, if their intentions go beyond the bedroom, then something like that is not going to cause them to not be affectionate with you.
And that's what I was saying. Like, what is her cycle is on, and she's like, I just want to dress down, and or she's sick, or anything can be happening, and she's like, I just want to be comfortable. Like, a lot of women, and give me some feedback, women, or men, or whatever, they will do whatever they got to do to keep the interest of their man. But I bought lingerie, and guess where it's at?
In the drawer.
Like, they don't care nothing about that. I mean, it's okay to look at it for a second, but after that, it's a lost cause. I mean, I feel like I want to be comfortable. I want to still be cute. I still want to be feminine. Sometimes I want to, just be like relaxed. I might look like a dude. I can put on a hat. I don't, and that doesn't mean I don't want you to hug me, or rub me, or just lay in the bed and be like, it don't matter. Toot it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. But that just, it really.
And that's true too, what you're saying, because a lot of times women will go above and beyond to keep the interest of the man. But how many times does the man go above and beyond to keep the interest of his woman?
And that's what I said to myself. Well, you know what? I've seen you without a haircut. It ain't cute. But that, you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean, because, hey, I got a low boy haircut because I know we can look rough. Like right now, I need to bleach my hair and, get a shape up. But at the same time, like, that doesn't mean I haven't seen you when you looked yourself for your absolute best. It doesn't make you unattractive. Yeah. But not touch you or kiss you or tell you I love you or hug up on you or whatever. But it was basically like, I don't want no girl like that. She got to come to the end. She got to be this, that, and the other. I'm like, bro, where you live? Yeah. Because, but it throws me what some of these men want. And then we had this discussion about body count.
Oh, yeah. The infamous body count conversation.
I need some answers. I'm still upset about that thing.
I'll say this, and this is me personally, and Kev can come on and speak his piece on this if he likes, and any other man if you want to come up and talk about this, because when I started hearing about body count, it was, I think it was through the whole Kevin Samuels phase when I really started hearing men talk about body count. Before that, I had never heard anything about body count. To this day, I have never asked a woman what her body count was, because I don't care. As long as you're safe and if I'm building with you, that's all I'm concerned with. I couldn't fathom that there were so many men that were out there asking women what their freaking body count was. That's still crazy to me.
I mean, is it body count with lifestyle, or is it just body count, period?
I think with and I'm assuming here, but I feel like most men that actually care about that kind of stuff are allowing their egos to speak for them, because most men, for whatever reason, we're subconsciously like to quote unquote feel like we own things. So if a man is with a woman and he feels like he may come into contact with another man at some point in time, and this man is looking at his woman in a certain kind of way because he's been with her and stuff like that, some men's psyche can't take that. It's like some men want virgins, but they want the actions of the woman in the bedroom to be non-virgin like. They want you to act experienced while you're with them, while you sexing them. They want you to have all the experience in the world. But at the same time, they want you to be untouched by anybody.
How though? I mean, because you can't get that from porn.
It's not realistic. It's not realistic. And a lot of the things that we do aren't realistic. I'm telling you, we create things in our own heads and we try to make the world the way we want it to be. And that's just not what it is. And unfortunately, a lot of women catch the brunt of that. They catch the downside of that.
Yeah, they do. So if you don't ask, but you find out, not by her, but somebody said, or you out with her, and then all these guys like, I used to do her, it's just, how would that make you feel?
I would question how this man is moving in how he's moving. Because the way I move, there's not a man that's gonna feel comfortable enough coming up to me saying, "Hey, I done been with such and such." If I'm with it, that's just not gonna happen. One, like I say again, my circle is tight as gnat booty, and I don't give off the kind of energy to where dudes just want to come up having them kind of conversations with me. Don't tell me nothing about the woman that I'm with. Nothing at all. The only thing a person can tell me if I'm with a woman, the only thing a man can tell me about that woman is that he's some kin to her. That's about it. Hey, bro, how you doing? Yeah, that's my cousin such and such. I ain't know you. That's the only kind of comment. There is no man on the planet that's gonna come up to me and be comfortable enough to say, yeah, I slept with her. Or, yo, you with her? She da 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 da. Nah, that ain't gonna go well. It's not gonna go well. Period, point blank. I've never had anybody say that to me. I found stuff out after the fact from being with women. I've had a guy say, oh yeah, I knew such and such, but yeah, it's a but. You can't tell me nothing. You can't. Because if I put my time into a woman and stuff like that, then you best believe that I'm also protecting her like she the last freaking chicken leg on the plate, and I ain't gonna have nothing else to eat for a long darn time. There's nothing. I don't
be so sick. Oh my God.
I'm trying. I don't play those type games, and I think sometimes people get way too comfortable with letting other people invade their respect bubble.
Yeah, and I feel like if you let that happen, then you don't have any respect for her at all.
You don't.
You know? Yeah, you don't. And I know there are women out here who have been with several men. But that is, when they're with you, they're with you. It doesn't mean they're gonna be like that with you.
Exactly.
And it comes from trauma and hurt. Like they keep bouncing around trying to find the person that they feel loves them and are gonna protect them and be with them. So you do what you do.
Yep.
But again, that goes back. Don't be ashamed about it.
Nope. Own it.
Big,
It is what it is. Everybody. I don't know a person walking, and I'm 96 years old. I don't know anyone that has a spotless Clorox bleach past. Other than my younger children.
Right.
You know what I mean? That it's just not gonna, and I protect my peace at all costs. I'm not asking the type of questions or being in the type of situations that's gonna affect my peace in a bad way. I don't ask questions that I really don't want the answer to.
There you go. Because then again, what comes with that? After you get all the information, then you hurt.
Yeah. Then what? Yeah. If I ask you and you happen to be totally honest and you say 367, okay, now what? Now, because I have that number, I'm no longer going to want to build with you, or now I feel some type of way about my own self, or that's just too much. I don't have time.
Right. Okay, another question. I don't know if you've covered this song because we just linked up, but natural body types and BBLs and mommy makeovers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this. I'm an advocate for people doing whatever they need to do to make themselves happy as long as they're healthy. Now, do I like the natural versus built in a lab somewhere? Yes, I most definitely like the natural better. I think I've seen some women that have had BBLs to where I wouldn't have known it unless they told me. And I've seen some the way you know it as soon as you see them. So I just think when it comes to that, and I can't even say women anymore because it's men getting stuff done to them now. But I think people need to be more have more love for self before doing it. Not to say that everybody that does it doesn't love themselves, but everybody wants things quick now. There was a time where people would just hit the gym and they put that time in, and whatever they wanted themselves to look like, they built it themselves. Now everybody wants it fast. They don't want to spend the 3 to 4 months doing the squats to get the butt. You know what I mean? They'd rather go pay all this doggone money, go through their however long it is, 4 to 8 weeks of heal time or however, and then look a certain way. So, hey, if they want to do that, that's fine. But nah, I'm not a fan. I'll say that. I don't judge anybody that does, but I'm not a fan, and I'm not paying for it.
Okay, so I'm gonna take it to this for Pootie Tang because me and her gonna have to chop it up. You know how I am about stuff like that. So you meet a woman. Do men want women without children? If they don't have any, or if they have a couple, do they?
Some do. I don't care. Yeah, some do. In my experience, from talking to different guys and stuff like that, I think men that have children that are in their children's lives don't mind if a woman has children. Men that have children and are quote unquote deadbeats mind if a woman has children because they feel like that woman's children is going to interfere with them sleeping with the woman because that's probably all they want to do anyway. So you can always tell if you get a man that has kids or loves kids, he don't care how many kids you got. Now, what men care about is men care about the relationship that you have with those kids' fathers more than they do about you having kids. Because we have to think about everything. Okay, is this dude some rowdy dude that's going to be causing problems all the time and I'm going to end up having to bust him in the head or he going to bust me in mine? Those are the kind of things that men think about it. So it's not the child. We want to know about the relationship that you have with those fathers. If those fathers, and me, speaking for me personally, if that father is in the child's life, then guess what? I want to meet him. If we're going to be serious, I want to meet that dude. Hey, I'm Salid, me and such, we're talking, we're getting serious. I have kids of my own, so I know some of what you might be feeling. So I want to introduce myself to you so you know what kind of man your kid's going to be around. I'm not trying to take your place or nothing like that. Whatever you discipline, you do whatever you got to do with them, but just know I'm going to treat them, with the same respect and love that I treat my own kids.
So Pootie Tang is saying, honestly, I think men can accept women with children, just not more than 3.
They can have 30. It don't matter. If, like I said, the men care more about the relationship that the mother has with that father than they do with the amount of kids you have. If he's interested in you, if he's interested in building something with you, then he doesn't care.
And if he's not going to accept you with 3, 4, 5, 6 kids, leave him where he at.
That's right. Yeah, because you can't get rid of your kids just because you're getting a dude.
You cannot. You definitely should not. And I'm with you. I just feel like if they're gonna love you, they're gonna love your kids. And then and what you said too, men, women, listen. If you co-parenting, you should definitely, if that person's gonna be around your children, meet each other. Like, yep. I've heard my kids, dad, like I said, if you go get a stepdad, and if you go have another man around my child, and then the woman is like, I don't want my kids around nobody. I mean, listen, that's stupid.
That's right. And a lot of times, what's funny is I've heard men get mad at their children's mothers because the mother get in a relationship and they'll say, oh, I don't want nobody around my child. And they're not even in the child's life. They don't even see their kid, but tell the mom who they can and cannot have around their child.
And they listen to him.
Yeah.
Nothing more than he's still trying to control you and hold you where he wants you to be at until he decides whether or not he want to come back and be with you and your children.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Has the things you want as a man drastically changed over the years?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a good one, Robbie.
Absolutely. Because like I said earlier in the show, in my 20s and up until I was like 35. So like I'll say from age 17 to 35, for the most part, all I wanted was somebody. Because I've always it's crazy because I'm comfortable by myself, but I've always enjoyed relationships. So it's kind of weird. But yeah, from 17 to 35, all I really sought was just having a body, just being with somebody. Now from 35 to present, I'm a lot deeper than the body, if that makes sense. I care about the intellectual aspect of it, how we can build, what I can add to you, what you can add to me, how this person gonna be around the kids, if the person even likes kids, if the person wants kids. You know, it's so much more that I would think about now. So yeah, things definitely changed. I think most people in general, if you aren't evolving, what are you doing? I mean, if you can look back 15, 20 years and the same things that you valued then, for the most part, not everything, but the core things that you valued then, especially if they didn't progress you, if that's still the same stuff you own now, what are you doing?
Exactly. And that's what people too. And do you let them go? I mean, because you're stuck on the same thing, like, and nobody's getting anywhere. Do you let those people go, or do you continue to rock with them?
And that's real hard for some people to do, is let people and things go that aren't benefiting them.
I mean, you did what you did. If it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, it is what it is. You had your terms, and it's just time to move on.
Yep.
And grab, a different circle of friends, or just, be by yourself and reevaluate things.
That's right.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
No. Miss Robbie, I thought you was in the bed.
I'll say this. I didn't think I would enjoy the going live on Facebook thing, but I wanted people on there too to see what we do on Wisdom and YouTube. I actually enjoyed it though. It was good. I thank the 91 people we have in here on Wisdom. I really appreciate you. You guys are extremely consistent, and I appreciate that. I really do. YouTube viewers, I thank you. Facebook viewers, I thank you. Robin said, I am on a journey of rediscovering myself. Stay on that journey until you get what it is that you're looking for. That's what I can say to that. My dog needs to be walked. I need to be walked. So I'm going to bid everyone good night. If you haven't already, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, King Shid Productions, KINGSHID, one word, then Productions. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you guys. You know where I'll be next Thursday at 8 o'clock. We'll be doing it again. We'll be discussing something else. I can already tell you it's going to be absolutely wonderful. Robert said, oh, you just made me think of another question. If your kids don't like who you're with, but she's great to you and hasn't done anything to them, is that relationship over? No. What I will not do is allow my kids to paint what my future and present is going to be. Now, if the kids are affected outside of just not liking somebody, then we can talk about it. But I've seen how that goes. Sometimes kids can, if they feel like attention is going to go away from them, they'll do stuff. I mean, you can't allow your children to paint what your future is going to be, for the simple reason those kids are going to grow up. They're going to grow up, and trust me, they're going to leave. They're going to leave the house. And then what are you left with? Nothing but looking at the walls. So as long as
listen to them, because I know a lot of times my sons were trying to warn me about I wasn't listening, because it's like, okay, but they were right,
Yep.
But again, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the case. That's why I say it has to be a discussion and stuff like that. But it is what it is. If there are any questions or anything that someone wanted to ask that they didn't get to ask, you know where I'll be next Thursday at 8 o'clock. You can bring it up then. Hopefully, I think I'm gonna do live on Facebook again next week. We'll see how it goes. But thank you, Miss Hunt. It's always a pleasure.
Right.
And I know I'll see you again next week.
Unless the baby coming up. Not my baby, but she's
yeah.
dilated a little bit. So we might have a baby next week.
Uh-oh.
I gotta be there for the delivery.
Okay. Well, Kev, I appreciate you coming up, brother. You know me and you will chop it up tomorrow. But thank everybody. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Come back and listen next week. 8 o'clock sharp. If not 8 o'clock, maybe 7:54. I might be early sometimes, but I'll never be late. I appreciate everybody. Have a good night.